I used to struggle a lot with manifesting, just the idea of it. I would watch videos on it and I didn't understand what they were saying. I just didn't understand it. Where there's manifesting, a lot of attractions, like, what are they saying? I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And I would rewind it and watch again. It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. And it seemed weird, silly, not good enough for me to just sit on a couch and think about money coming into your wallet or whatever it was that you're trying to manifest. You got to go do something. That in law of attraction, you know, action is at the end of attraction. Like, you got to go off and do the work. If that's been you, if you've been kind of struggling with manifesting or law of attraction, you don't know how it makes sense, you rewind videos and it feels too woo-woo for you, let me explain it from a different perspective and maybe it'll help. At least this is what's helped me. The first thing that I realized is very scientific, is from the reticular activating systems. It's part of your brain that decides what to pay attention to and what to not pay attention to. There are so many things that are happening right now all around you that you are not paying attention to. Most things your brain filters out. The job of the reticular activating system, you can go look it up, RAS, is to filter out most things and only filter in the things that you should care about. So for example, what color are your socks today? What color is your underwear today? Looking down this street and, I didn't know that there was a pine tree here. What are you paying attention to as you look out the window? You're looking at the tree, you're looking at the sign here, you're looking at the driveway, you're looking at the color of the sky, you're looking at the house, you're looking at what material that might be. You're not looking at anything because it's too blurry. You're still looking at my face, you're looking at my car, you're looking at the color of the headrest, you're looking at my outfit. Like, what are you paying attention to? Most things you're ignoring, because there's no possible way to pay attention to everything. Pay attention to the dog. Tristana. Hello. Good girl. Right? We're ignoring most things because it wouldn't serve you. It's just impossible. It'd be information overload. If you feel like you're overloaded already, just imagine if you took in absolutely everything. So your eyes are bringing it in and your brain is filtering out most of it. So what does your brain actually pay attention to? Well, the reticular activating system will choose to say, okay, you've set an intention, right? I want to pay attention to X. And now all of a sudden, you're going to see that more often. I just bought a house. So in that process, we started paying attention a lot more to houses. So one of the things I noticed was the for sale sign here, where I may have not noticed that as much in the past, but because I'm thinking house, boom, now I'm paying attention to the for sale sign. You ever notice when you buy a car, you start seeing that car everywhere, right? Or even thinking about buying a car, you're thinking about buying an X. You start seeing it on the street more often. Why? That's your reticular activating system. Basically saying, I want to pay attention to those things. So that car was still around, right? I mean, I got this car, we've got a Porsche, and now I see Porsches more often. Those Porsches still existed. They were already there. I just didn't notice them before, and now I notice them because I have one, right? So whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're setting an intention toward, it's not just sit on your couch and meditate and imagine money coming into your wallet or a new car or a new house or business growth or you speaking on stage or whatever your goals are, right? It's not just sitting on it and visualizing it, but it's noticing it and the elements of it in your environment. That when you start thinking about it, right? We are what we consistently think about. When you start thinking about it, you'll start seeing opportunities around you that were already there. You just filtered it out because you didn't see how it connected. Now your brain's starting to make those connections. Does that make sense? Reticular activating system. You're ignoring most things. But when you set intention on the thing that matters to you, you'll start seeing it in your environment and opportunities for that to happen a lot more often. So that's step number one, reticular activating system. It's the science. Number two is to trust your intuition more. One of the things that really helped me back early on in my career was I judged myself too harshly for the ideas that I came up with. And as soon as I came up with an idea, I was like, oh, you can't do that. Or I had to have the perfect plan before I would ever take any kind of action on it. And, just later realize that you can never plan all the way out. There's no way, if you wait till you have the perfect plan, by the time you start actually executing, the plan is dead. It's over. And so you have to trust in your ideas. And so the thing that really helped me is I believe that great ideas flow through me. Believe that great ideas flow through you. This is how you shortcut your brain that's designed to keep you safe. That's how you shortcut the brain out of the equation. You came up with an idea. As long as it's in you're in a positive state of mind, you're trying to serve, right? It's not, I want to go, you're in a jealous rage or you're angry. Don't trust your ideas then. But when you're positive and optimistic and bold and courageous and an idea comes to you, trust that that's the right idea for you. Just trust that it's the right idea and then go do something about it. Where normally what we do is we overthink and we overplan and we overprepare, and then we lose the momentum, and then the next day or the next week or the next month, it's gone, it's over. It's like, oh, I can't do that. No, that was actually a great idea for you. And it's happened enough to me where those things have worked out, where I come up with an idea and it doesn't make any sense logically, but I just decide to listen to it and do something on it, and it leads to something amazing. The amount of times that that's happened is pretty overwhelming. And so when you have enough repetition, for me, I had to see it. I had to see it enough times come up, because I wouldn't just believe it on faith. I had to see it happen enough times. And you could test it yourself. What idea is in your head? What big idea that you want to do? Even a small idea. What's flowing through your head when you're in a positive state? Put on a happy song, move around a little bit, and then notice your thoughts and where it's going and what you want to create or who you want to reach out to, what you want to do. Like what thought comes to mind after you're moving around and having some positive energy? That's probably the right thing for you. And just test it out by doing something about it. And maybe that's a business idea. Maybe that's an email you need to send. Maybe that's a friend you need to reach out to. Maybe that's an act of kindness that you need to do. Whatever the thing is that pops into your mind, trust those ideas. And you could be a scientist. Like I like data and I like science and I like proving things. Maybe I'm a skeptic, I don't know. But in running those experiments, I proved to myself that, yeah, great ideas do flow through me. And so the next time I have a great idea, I'm going to go and take action on it. So number one, reticular activating system. It's already in your environment, you're just ignoring it. But if you put attention towards it, you start seeing it, like you notice a new car. When you buy your new car, you see that car everywhere. And then number two is trust that good ideas flow through you. Number three is the one that I'm working on, that I'm having the hardest time with, and I believe it, and I'm in the process of getting better at it, is when you're thinking about creating something, to talk to yourself in the present moment. And this is something that a lot of the manifestation, a lot of attraction people talk about, but also people like Grant Cardone talk about it. That it's not just the people who you'd associate with it, but other people who've had a lot of success, where you're talking about whatever thing is that you want, that it's already happened, that it's not going to happen in the future, but that it's already happened. If your goal is to speak on stage, then you're visualizing and you're telling yourself, I am on stage. I am speaking to a million people, or that's a giant stadium. I am speaking to 70,000 people. I am the author of a best-selling book. I am, like, whatever your goal is. And what I think the point of that is yes, one, to see yourself accomplishing big things. Two, to not have it be so far away that it lets you off the hook for taking action. But I think most importantly is for you to feel what it feels like to be that. And the more you feel like it feels like to be that, the more it actually becomes true. If your goal is to speak on stage in front of 5,000 people, and you actually feel like you're doing it, you can visualize yourself being on stage and doing it. The goal, I think, I'm still working through this, so 1 and 2 I've got down. 3 is my progress and my journey, so sharing with you. If you feel like you're doing it, if you are on stage and there's 5,000 people clapping for you and cheering you, you just gave the best speech, of your life so far, and you feel what it feels like to walk off that stage, and what a gift that you gave people, that the more comfortable you get with that feeling, the more it's going to be you, and the more that's going to show up. Does that make sense? So whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish, whoever it is that you're trying to be, whatever your big goals are, that you imagine yourself already having done it. And this is probably not something that I would tell other people, like, oh yeah, I'm a speaker in front of 70,000 people. Because I haven't spoken at a stadium that big. But to yourself, at least, to say it, to see it, to feel it, to do it. If you're trying to heal yourself, like, okay, I am healthy. Yeah, but look, I've got a belly, or I've got a, whatever. Like, I am healthy. I am healthy. And visualizing yourself being healthy, because you want the feeling of what it feels like to be healthy. And the more you feel like you are healthy and you capture that feeling, the more frequently you're in there, the more likely it's going to show up. So that's probably not the most articulate way to share it, and I'm still working my way through it as well. So as I keep getting better and keep learning, I'll keep sharing with you. But I used to think like manifestation, law of attraction was way out there stuff that I judged and that I didn't understand and that didn't make any sense. Like, just go off and take action, guys. And with time and experience and exposure and practice, using the reticular activating system to notice things around me, by trusting that great ideas flow through me and following through and building momentum, and by talking to myself in the present moment as if I am that person that I want to become, so I can capture that feeling and know what it feels like to be that person. I've shifted and seen some pretty amazing results in my life and business, and I hope it can work for you too.
Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of much more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and our take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy! Rule number 2, defeat all your fears.
I think the key to overcoming your fear is the awareness of the fear. I think most people aren't even aware of their biggest fears that are holding them back on a daily basis in their business and in their lives. What often happens is somebody gives you an opportunity, right? Come speak at this event, or here's this project, or work with this person, or go on this date, whatever it is, you get an opportunity. And the real fear you have is that you're not good enough, that you're gonna fail, that you're not gonna give a good result. That's really the fear deep down inside, but you come up with, I don't have the time to do it. I don't have the time to do it is the biggest BS excuse of all time. You may not be making the priority to go out and do it, but we all have the same amount of time. You should never say, I don't have the time. You can say, I choose not to do it. I choose not to make the time. But as soon as you say, I don't have the time, you abdicate responsibility. You are in control. You get to pick what you do with your 24 hours every day. It's the one thing that is equal across every human being. We all have 24 hours. So we disguise our real fear with some practical reason, right? We say we don't have the time, we don't have the resources, blah, 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 whatever it is, but really it's some kind of fear. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. So many of our fears are so subconscious, and we do it so automatically every single day, and we've convinced ourselves that there's a logical reason behind it. So the first step in my mind is the awareness of the fear. The awareness that it's not a lack of resources, the awareness that it's not a lack of time, and it's really that I'm just afraid that I'm gonna fail and I don't want to do it anymore. So awareness of the fear is the first thing. Next thing is, do you have a why to get out of it? Is it important to break that thing? Is it important to crush through that fear? Do you have a strong enough reason to make a painful change? And when you do, the third step is to start to catch it. And you often can't catch it in the moment. Usually it comes afterwards. Usually you're meeting with somebody and you do the same thing that you always do, and you don't catch it in the moment, you catch it the next day. It's like, I did it again. I did it. I should have said that. I should have done that, and I didn't. I did it again. I succumbed to my fear again. And when you have that awareness, what you'll find is the awareness starts getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the moment where it's actually happening. So you start it off and it's like the next day when you realize it, and then next time it's maybe a couple hours later, next time it's a couple minutes later, and then you get to that magical moment where you've caught yourself just before you take the action. You're meeting with somebody and they're giving you a project and you're about to back away. The words are about to come out of your mouth. It's about to happen again. The same pattern that you've always done forever and ever is about to come out again, and you had that magical moment to catch yourself and choose to be bold, to overcome the fear, to push through it and take a separate action. Instead of going the same path you always go, swerve and go this way. And when you do that, it gives you the muscle to do it again. And every time you get to that point, it's gonna become easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. So one for me is understand what your real fear is. I don't think we have the awareness. 2, have a strong enough why to get out of it. And then 3, get closer and closer and closer to the moment where it's happening, and then choose to be bold, choose to be powerful, and choose to push through your fear.
Rule number 3, be willing to change.
You're not changing because you're trying to do everything yourself. You're trying to do it all alone. You can have a moment of inspiration, a moment of, this is the day, I'm going to change it all. And then when your environment and the people around you don't support you in doing it, and you're doing it all alone, you lose momentum. The next day, that momentum is gone, and the next day, the momentum is absolutely zero. You ever been there? Until you get the people around you to support you, to create a circle where you can feel like you do not have to do this alone, you won't change. And you'll stay stuck knowing that you're capable of more and frustrated with yourself at the lack of momentum. I run this challenge inside my Mover Makers program, and every month we have to talk about a certain topic. Mover Makers is for thought leaders. It's people who they have a message, they have a mission, they want to get out to the world. Your story matters. Let's get it out there and go. Come on. But it's really hard to share your story, and it's really hard to make videos, and it's really hard to put yourself out there. And you have these moments where you want to do it and you feel on top of the world, like, yes, I'm ready. And then what? Then all the insecurities and fears and doubts creep in. And as I was noticing people in Mover Makers not making enough content, I decided to do a challenge. And the challenge is once a month, we pick a topic. And this month's topic is courage. And what you have to do is make a solo video that's 10 minutes long. You have to make a lead magnet to help grow your business. And you have to do 3 collaboration videos. And most people do Instagram lives to collaborate with each other. And all of a sudden, people who took up the challenge started making content. All of a sudden, the excuses went away. I don't know what gear to buy. I don't know what camera to use. I don't know what microphone. I don't know what to talk about. My story's not good enough. I'll start next week. I'll start next year. I'll start next month. I'll start on my birthday. I'll start on January 1st. I'll start on Monday. I'll start next month, right? All of the excuses all of a sudden went away because you're not doing it alone. Because all of those reasons that are holding people back, that are holding you back, what you want to do something bigger. All of the reasons that are actually holding you back are not the logical ones that are in your head, right? The idea that you're not making content because you don't know what phone to use or what camera to use or what. I'm making these videos for my channel on my phone. I'm in my car at my wife's acupuncturist. She's getting acupuncture done right now in the building right next to me. And so I'm making content in my car. You can too, right? There are logical reasons why you are not doing the thing that you want to do, right? That you say is important to you. There's logical reasons that you are buying. You believe them. They are actual reasons, but they're not good enough reasons. And underneath those reasons why you're not doing the thing that you need to do is just that you're afraid. It's just fear. And suffering through fear alone is really, really hard. It's not that it's not possible. It's not that you can't do it. It's just immensely difficult. And most people won't. Most people won't follow through. Most people don't follow through because they are alone in this journey. You might have people around you. You might have great parents, friends, a spouse. But if you feel like you're walking the journey all by yourself, it's just insanely difficult to actually follow through and get the results that you want. The good news is you can change it, right? The good news is, hey, we don't have to stay stuck. The good news is you can change your circle. And I'm going to share a couple ideas in this video of how to do it. So, number 1, I like to collect good people. Collect good people. Think about the people around you in your life. How many of them make you feel happier, more energetic, more positive? And you may not have many people. You may not have someone like that. Great. Think about the people who you've ever met. Maybe it was at a conference, maybe an event, maybe a lunch or dinner, some kind of party, a friend of a friend. I find ways to spend more time with good people. I remind myself that I like to collect good people. And as someone who's shy and introverted, that's not my default state. I don't think to call people. I don't think to message people. I don't default to being around people. But when there's somebody whose energy I really love and I leave the conversation feeling more uplifted than when I went in, then I try to find ways to spend more time with that person. And maybe it leads to a business, maybe it leads to some kind of opportunity, maybe it just leads to another conversation. But think about the people who you have met at some point in your life. Maybe not the people around you right now, but an old high school friend, or again, somebody at an event or a club or some meeting that you met that you really like their energy and their vibe. I'll lean in on the awkward and say, hey, do you want to go grab a coffee? I'd love to learn more about your story. Or I really love your energy. Do you want to go and get some lunch together? It feels super awkward, but chances are they need somebody too. And if you be the first one to do the outreach and say, hey, I'd love to learn more about you. So these are people who you don't really know that well, but you'd like to. And you can even say that when you're talking to them. Hey, I don't really know you that well, but I'd like to. And lean in on the awkwardness. Be the first one to go off and do it. So think about the people in your network, people who you have met, one-off meetings, who filled you with that positivity, and fight for more time with them. Because if you had 4 people and you met everybody once a month, that's once a week now. You're meeting some amazing human. Whether it's coffee, whether it's lunch, whether it's a Zoom call, whether it's actually forming some kind of business together, there are people who you've come across who are the support that you need. And you need to do the outreach to say, hey, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better and spend a little more time with you. Lean in on the awkwardness. Collect good people. That's number 1. 2 is change your environment to be around the people even if you can't meet them. So watching this video is a great example. Watch this video. Did you wake up this morning and you're like, yeah, my gosh, so amazing. Let's go crush the day. Probably not, right? I didn't. If you did, then I am super jealous of you. You probably woke up and you're tired and you're looking at your phone and what's on my calendar for today, and immediately some of the limiting beliefs and thoughts and attitudes popped in your head. And so if you can't be around the people every day, the collect good people, if you can't be around them every day, then you can be around them virtually through videos, through YouTube, through books, through social media. Follow the people who make you feel better about yourself and make you want to go off and conquer your goals. Most of the time when people are spending time on social media, YouTube, Instagram, etc., how much of that time is spent actually learning and being inspired versus wasting time? How many times have you opened your phone, went to a social media app, and all of a sudden 40 minutes went by, you didn't even notice because you're just scrolling, right? Has that happened? That's not what you want to do. Don't lean in on that, right? Audit right now. Audit who you are subscribed to on YouTube and who you're following on Instagram. And ask yourself, do these people make me feel better about myself or not? Do I leave feeling more inspired than when I came in? And if no, then unfollow those people. And good news, there's lots of amazing people. Not just me, there's tons of amazing people who are making amazing content. And whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to get more into, when you can surround yourself, even in a social media environment, if you wanted to work out more, if you followed a whole bunch of fitness people who are working out constantly, people who are not making excuses for why they can't get to the gym today. If you followed all those people, it's now in your environment. You'll start to see it more often. It'll become that daily reminder for you, and you're more likely to go to the gym and work out. So whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, whatever your goals are, choose to follow the people who are achieving those goals, who are living that, because it's not your identity yet. And for them, it is. And the more you're around that, they will suck you in to be like them. So choose very carefully what you want to get sucked into, right? It can also lead down a really negative, dark path, right? Whoever's more confident in their beliefs wins. So if you're around people who are strongly believing in something that is bad or evil or against your core values, you could be sucked down a really dark, negative hole as well. So step 1 is collect good people. Step 2 is to be around them, be around in social media with intention the people who make you feel better about yourself and go achieve your goals. And then step 3 is to join some kind of community, join some kind of group who are focused in on what you're trying to do. So if you want to get into fitness, then you can hire a coach to help you, a fitness trainer, or join a gym, or join some kind of collective where you feel like you don't have to do this by yourself. Why Movement Makers is so special is because if you want to be a thought leader, where do you go? Where do you go to hang out with other thought leaders? Right? Nowhere. Do you know anybody who's a thought leader is trying to make great content and share it and have a message to give to the world? You know, who else that you know in your life talks like that? Probably not, right? So being around that and whatever it is that you want to learn, you want to be better at chess, then join a chess club and hire a chess coach. Be around the people. Be around the people. Join some kind of community so you don't have to do this all alone. One of the things that I struggled the most with is feeling like I have to come up with all the ideas myself, carrying everything on my back. And what I realized very later in my entrepreneurial journey, right? I mean, I'm 40. How old am I now? 40. I'm almost 42 when I'm filming this video. My first real business in entrepreneurship when I was 19. So it's been a while, 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur. Not including like garage sales and that kind of stuff. And one of the hardest things for me was just not trying to have to do everything myself, not putting all the pressure on myself to have to do everything all by myself. I like to say in Movement Makers that 1 + 1 = 4,000. Like you come in and not just Movement Makers, but anytime you do this, any club you join or group you join, especially if you're a giver, givers have a hard time asking. But when you're with other givers, they want to pour into you. They want to give to you. They want to see you win as well. So you come in hoping to get something. And then when you get that, plus you can contribute to other people and what they're doing and see that you're showing up for them, also allows them to go off and accomplish their goals. It's just such a great cycle. And it's such a weight lifted to know that you don't have to do everything all by yourself. So you could be willing to change. You could have these great ambitions and great ideas of who you could be and who you want to be and the impact that you want to have. But it's not going to happen until you realize that you can't do this alone. Stop trying to do this alone. Stop trying to do everything yourself. You can change. People will support you. But it's on you to collect good people, to audit who you follow on social media, and to join a group of people who are like-minded. If you want to make one single change this year that will have a tremendous impact on the growth of you actually accomplishing your goals, decide to not do this alone anymore.
Rule number 4, transform your thinking.
You don't have to stay stuck. When you come up with a great idea that in your heart, this is the thing that I want to do, and then almost instantly, all the negative voices come in your head as to why you can't do it and why someone like you will never be able to do this thing. It keeps you stuck, keeps you small, keeps you frustrated, keeps you knowing that you're capable of more and being too afraid to go take the action. And until you can break that pattern of negative self-talk, nothing will happen. And so we're going to fix that in this video. I think as soon as we come up with ideas, it's not even our friends, it's not even the people around us, it's us. It's us telling ourselves that we suck, that we can't do it, that we're not good enough, that we're not capable, that it's not going to happen. We land into procrastination mode, and you can call yourself a perfectionist. It has to be perfect, but perfectionism is still just fear. Just fear that you're not good enough, fear that it won't work out, fear of being seen, fear of not being seen. And it keeps you stuck. When I procrastinate on things, even like making videos, I've made, I don't know how many, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000 videos, some crazy number of videos. And yet every time before I sit down to make the videos, I procrastinate a little bit. In today's filming session, I'm here at my wife's acupuncture clinic. She's inside getting her acupuncture done. I joined her sitting in the car, and it probably took me 15 minutes to get into the zone, I know I'm going to make the videos. I've developed the identity that I'm going to get it done, but I'm worried. I want the videos to be good. I don't want to embarrass myself. Don't want to let myself down. Don't want to let you down. Fear of disappointing people is my biggest fear. I don't want you to feel like this is wasting your time. You ever had these thoughts? Like you want to do something and then you want it to be good and you don't want to disappoint people, and so you hem and you haw and you procrastinate, and then all of a sudden the day's gone, you haven't done anything? Has that happened? So I try to keep it to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Today's a little longer. I'd usually be like 5-10 minutes. Took a little bit longer, 15 minutes today to get into the zone. And you know what happened? The next thought was, what if I just check and see how my team's doing, and because I want to feel valuable and because I want to feel like I'm doing something productive, I want to get out of the discomfort of not filming videos and go check in on my team, because that would make me feel more productive. Like, no. Just sit with it. We gotta change it. We gotta go. We gotta make some content. You're gonna do this and make that first video. So even for me, even for someone who's done 5 figures of videos, every time I sit in front of the camera to make a video, the first one, I procrastinate. I sit on it because I'm afraid and I don't want to disappoint people. So it's totally normal. So if you feel like whatever the thing is that you want to do, you're capable of it, in your heart that it's something that you want to create, and then for some reason you keep stopping, you keep procrastinating, you keep staying stuck, that's normal. You're not, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not abnormal. It's 100%, everybody goes through it. The difference is how quickly can you shift? How can you get unstuck? Because most people just stay stuck. They stay constipated. They're like, all this stuff that has to come out, that's just not coming out. You're constipated. You stay stuck. So how do you do it? How do you shift it? Here are a couple things that help me that I hope can help you. Number 1 is floss the first tooth. Take immediate momentum. You think about flossing, it's, people don't want to floss. I built the habit of flossing twice a day. Most people don't floss. And the concept is just floss one tooth. And once you floss one tooth, you'll floss the rest, probably, right? Just get your running shoes on and go for a walk. And once you're walking, you probably do more than, the 2 minutes that you set yourself into mind. Like, just do 2 minutes. So for me, is just make the first video. Go on, Evan, just record the first video. So I recorded the first video. And now this is my second video in my filming session. And I'm already feeling better. It's like, we're going, we're vibing. Yeah, let's do this. This is amazing. Come on. Just get going. Just go. It's so much easier to keep the momentum going once you've built some momentum. The hardest step is the first step. The hardest step is just building that initial momentum at the beginning. Once you get going, it's a lot easier to keep going. So just start. Don't make it some big thing. Don't make it some giant endeavor that you have to go off and chase. It's nice to have big goals and big ambitions and big dreams, but sometimes they're too big. And then you feel like you can't do it, and you need venture capital, and you need a team, and you need all sorts of things before you can do anything on it. It's great to have that big goal. And what are you going to do today to build some kind of momentum? And once you start building up momentum, it's just so much easier. So the challenge for today is just find one small, simple, easy way to get started. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be great. It's just the first step. Once you get your first step, it's so much easier to take the second. So that's one. Just start building some immediate momentum. Number 2 is change your state. One of the reasons why I like filming in the car, people ask, why are you always filming in your car? I like being out. I like being out of the place, out of my home. I like energy. I like nature. I like being able to see trees and sunshine and have people around. I like that. It changes my state. It makes it a lot easier for me to go off and film when I'm by myself. So it's not just me talking to the camera. This feels more conversational. I don't know. It's all just a head game. But it feels like I'm talking to a friend. Hello, how you doing? I'm Evan. It feels more conversational and natural for me. I like having the sun on my face. It just feels better. And so changing your state can be a good way if you're wherever you're at. Think whether you're in your bed or in your car or you're in your office or the dining room table. Change your state, move around, get up. you want to change the negative thoughts? Start moving. Get up. Doesn't mean you have to go work out or do 100 jumping jacks. Just get up and even get in some fresh air. Getting out of the space that you're thinking negatively in really helps. Just changing your physical location really, 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 really helps. I promise you. Have you ever had you're thinking really negatively, you're procrastinating, you're feeling down, and then you go for a walk and you feel better? Or even just change your room, or you go to a different part of the house, or you go for a drive and then you feel better? Like, changing the physical environment can really help you get out of that funk that you're in, where while you're in that space, you're feeling stuck and you can't move. So change the physical environment. One little bonus to that is music. I should have done that today. Music is the fastest way to change your state. So while I was sitting here in the car for 15 minutes procrastinating on making these videos, instead of thinking, hey, I should go and check in on my team and see how they're doing, underneath, like, logically that makes sense. Like, how's my team doing? I'm being a good boss, a good manager, a good friend. I should check in on them, see how they're doing. It's going to move my goals forward, of course, because if they're waiting on me for something, right? Logically, all that makes sense. Underneath it is just, again, the fear that my videos won't be good enough, so I need to feel productive. I need to feel valuable to myself. I need to feel worthy, so I'm going to spend my time there instead of making videos, right? I should have put on music when that was happening. Instead of going to check on my team, which I didn't do, but wanted to, I should have put on some music. Like, put on some music that makes you move. And you don't have to be the most expressive dancer or singer. Just anything that would get your head bobbing or your foot tapping or your knee bouncing. Just songs that make you come alive. And there's no one perfect song, but whatever song gets you in the zone, even if you're feeling really low, you'll find yourself like having energy and moving, and it just changes your state. The whole point is just to get unstuck and to start building some momentum towards what you say is what you want to do, right? So music is the fastest way to change your state. And then number 3 is, I would say, have play bigger triggers. And play bigger triggers are the things in your environment that remind you of who you want to be. The things that you could put up, the reminders on your cell phone background, on your desktop background, the artwork on your wall, the things that you could put in your life to remind you of who you want to be. So I'll share a couple from my example. In my office, I have 5 pictures on the wall, and they all tell a different story and remind me of who I want to be. I've got Steve Jobs on the wall, who reminds me to be a visionary. I've got A.P. Giannini on the wall, who is my favorite entrepreneur of all time, and he reminds me to believe in the little guy and what I'm trying to do. I've got my parents on the wall, who remind me to believe in myself. I've got Howard Schultz on the wall, who reminds me to stand for something important. And I've got Kanye on the wall to remind me that the time is now, that I have to go do something now to be the greatest me. And those pictures I picked with intention, and when I walk into my office, they're there and they remind me, and I don't have to do anything. You set it up once and it reminds you of who you want to be. I walk in the office and there's my parents looking back at me and telling me to believe in myself. The clothes that you wear, right? I wear, this is my Believe hoodie. I feel like I'm Batman. I tell myself when I put this on, I'm Batman, I'm a superhero going to work, fighting the crime of lack of belief. Right? And so somebody commented on my hoodie yesterday, like, you're always on brand, you're always wearing your hoodie. It's like, it's not just when I show up to make videos. This is what I wear, because I'm a superhero going to work. And when I put this on in the morning, it's like I'm Batman going to work, or a police officer going to work. It's like, this is what I do. And I'm a lot more, for me, productive and ambitious and bold when I'm wearing this compared to when I'm in my pajamas. And so there's a conscious choice to say, okay, what do I want to wear? And so the artwork on my wall, the background on my cell phone, the computer screen background, the things that I wear, right? Play bigger triggers. That you ideally just set it up once, and then it reminds you. It's okay, there it is. There's my trigger again. There it is. This is who I want to be. This is who I want to be. This is who I want to be. I'm around the things that make me remember what I'm trying to do. Because your brain will trick you to stay small. Your brain will trick you to stay stuck. Your brain will trick you to say, yeah, you can't do that. And here's all the reasons why. And you believe those reasons. You believe those reasons. Where really, you're just afraid. I'm just afraid. We're afraid that we're not good enough. We're afraid that we're going to be judged. We're afraid of disappointing people. We're afraid of not being loved. We're afraid that we're going to be seen and going to be made fun of. You know, we're just afraid. At the end of the day, you, me, everybody, we're just afraid. That the reason why you're stuck is you're afraid. And so when you can learn to catch those feelings, and when you can learn to uncover those feelings and switch them, say, you know what? I'm going to change my environment. I'm going to change my state. I'm going to change what I'm listening to. I'm going to change what I'm wearing. I'm going to change my mind. And I'm going to go do the thing to start building momentum. Because the only thing you're missing is momentum. The only thing you're missing is momentum. You've got a great heart, a great soul, a great idea. Your idea is worthy. You're doing it for the right reasons. You want to serve. You can do this. You can be in a totally different place in 6 months and 12 months. You can. It's possible. You can. Your mission is worthy and noble and should happen. And you're the one to do it. You're the one to do it. And it's not that you're not good enough, and it's not that you're not capable, and it's not that you can't do it at some point. It's just, you just don't have the momentum. You're just missing momentum. And so the next time you feel stuck, procrastinating, not good enough, know that you can do it, and that all you need to do is take that first step.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5, improve your productivity.
My key to being productive is doing different things on different days. Different activities, different energy states on different days. If you feel like you're getting to the end of the day or getting to the end of the week and you're working like crazy, like you were working, you were not slacking off, you're working like crazy, and yet nothing seemed to happen. Have you gotten there? It's like, I did so much work this week, and yet I've moved very little towards actually accomplishing my goals. If that's you, the way to change it is to realize that you're flipping between energy states too much, and you're not tapping into your true productivity. So let me share with you what I do, and hopefully that gives you some value to planning your schedule in your life as well. Different tasks on different days. I'll break down for you what I do every day of the week. Monday is my mentoring day. Mondays are the days where I spend mentoring my team. And we've got 37 people on my team. There's a bunch of people who I've invested into as well in their companies. And Monday, I just spend the whole day talking to them. All I have to worry about is mentoring the people on my team. Tuesday is YouTube day. So today I'm filming on a Tuesday. I don't know what day this video is being released, but it's a Tuesday for me filming. All I have to worry about on a Tuesday is making YouTube content. And why it's so productive these days is because it takes a while to make the first video. It takes a while to do the first call. It takes a while to get momentum going. But once you get the momentum going, it's easier to stay in the momentum. Then if you switch to something else, it takes a lot longer to get into that momentum. So, quick example, it's YouTube day for me. It took me 15 minutes to get ready for the first video. And not get ready like I have to do my hair. Get ready just emotionally, get ready mentally, get ready not procrastinate, get ready to bring the energy and have the right vibe and feel good enough and all of the stuff. It took me 15 minutes to get ready. And then the first video, it takes a while to get the mojo going, and then after the first video, the second one is better, and the third one is better, and this is my fourth one recorded, and it's better, and now it's easier to go, right? And so in the time it takes me to make one video, the first video, I could then in that same amount of time go make 3 or 4 videos in immediate I want to say sequential, that's not a word, succession, in immediate succession, whatever. after. I can make 3 or 4 more videos right after while I'm in that same vibe. So same thing for you, whatever vibe you're feeling, if you can stay in that energy zone instead of switching. If I did YouTube video, then writing a book, then doing a phone call, then mentoring my team, then you're just bouncing around too much, and there's high energy switching costs that then keep you unproductive. Then this is, I mean, a huge unlock, because when you can figure out how to chunk your time like this, brain fog goes away, productivity dramatically increases. You suddenly have a lot more free time as well to do whatever you want to do. Nina is back. She's in the house. We are at Nina's acupuncture. Let me put my seatbelt on as we get ready to go. So Tuesday's YouTube day, and I spend the whole day making videos. Wednesday's project day. And on project day, I focus on whatever projects I want to work on. And I wake up in the morning, I look at what do I want to work on today, and it's a lot more of a creative day. Tuesdays and Thursdays are very intense, productive days. Wednesday is a free-flowing day, which is not very productive, but very creative. What I had to understand is creativity is messy, and creativity is not productive. So I would judge myself harshly when I was working on a new project, and it would take me a long time, and I felt like I got nothing done. That's okay. Like, creativity is not meant to be efficient. So you won't be efficient on your creative days or on your creative tasks. It won't be efficient for you, but that's okay. And I think you need to have creative time built into your calendar, because if you're only doing things that are productive, you're going to burn out, you're going to hate your life, and you're going to feel limited. You ever get bored of your own business? You get bored of the things you're doing? Well, there's not enough creative time planned into your week. When do you get time to work on new fun things that maybe pay off, maybe don't pay off? When do you have time to work on that? Well, you don't, okay? So that's when people have midlife crisis or burnout or want to throw it all away or quit or stop doing this thing. And so I think you have to have some highly productive days where you're really working on achieving the goals that you know, I have to get these things done. And then you have to have some creative days where you get to focus on whatever projects you want, that you're not judging yourself harshly for being not very efficient. Creativity is messy. It's designed to be that way, and you need to have some creative days in your calendar, or you will get tired of your business and hate your life. So that's Wednesday. Wednesday is creative day, project day. Thursday is public facing day. And Thursdays, I'm usually starting the day with either movement makers or brandlytics. And I'm introverted and shy, and that doesn't come across in these videos, but I am, and it takes me a while to get into the zone of being around other people. So on Thursdays, I start with my family, and movement makers are my community of thought leaders who are trying to build their business and get their message to the world. And brandlytics is my community of people on YouTube who want to build their YouTube channel up specifically and want the advice to grow and create. And so I start my Thursdays with them because it's family, it's safe, it's friendly, it's warm, and it makes me feel like what I do matters and is important. And then the rest of Thursday is interviews and podcasts and Zoom calls and just all day spreading the message. We got belief to put out there. And it's easy to go off and do those things now because I just came from movement makers or brandlytics. So I'm already in the zone of sharing and creating and impacting and seeing smiles. And so I carry that energy into my next interview or my next podcast and the next thing that I'm doing. So if I'm booking to be on other people's shows, even if I'm booking for my own show, Thursdays, it's always on a Thursday. It's always on a Thursday. It's always on a Thursday. And I have 5-minute breaks in between. So it's usually 25 minutes or 55 minutes and then 5-minute break and then on to the next one, on to the next one, and so it's really easy. And all of a sudden it's 7 o'clock. And what happened to today? I don't know, but amazing things happened because you're all in that energy. And I do tons of different shows and episodes. And it's, again, so much easier to be in that one zone than to then go make a YouTube video or then go and write my book, or then, book writing was a creative project. So it's on a Wednesday. It took me an hour just to get into remembering what I did yesterday or last week on my book, right? So if you only give yourself an hour to write the book, that would be absolute waste of time because it took me an hour to remember where I left off last time. So that's Thursday, public facing day. Friday is CEO day. So that's what do I need to do to grow my business? What are the big projects? Instead of working in my business, work on the business. So Wednesday is work in the business on creative projects. Friday is if I'm going to be the CEO of my business, what does that look like? What do I need to be doing? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're the CEO. You're probably the janitor as well if you're a one-person show. And we have to do a lot of things to drive the business forward. We have to be in our business. We don't have a giant team yet. Even at 37 people, I do a lot of work in the business as opposed to only just being the CEO and just managing. And truthfully, I like being in the business. I like making videos like this is not CEO time. This is me being in the business, but I like it. I think people who often just be the CEO, if you're entrepreneurial and there's no projects you're working on, you grow distant from the business and you don't enjoy it. So we all need time in our calendar every week to focus on being the CEO. And now I spend all my Fridays doing it. At the beginning, I just started with 2 hours. So 2 hours in my calendar. It's like, okay, this is my CEO time. And I blocked it off and I made it important. And when I started doing that, I started seeing more results in my company. Saturday, we apply to the weekends too. Saturday is fun day. So Saturday, spending time with Nina, doing whatever, going, it's starting to get warm here in Canada. You can see, the grass finally green. So if we're going for a hike or trying out a restaurant or going to a street festival or just something fun. Sunday is family admin day. So all of the stuff that we have to do to manage the family, go grocery shopping, fold laundry, clean up the house, family admin kind of stuff, that's on a Sunday. And then repeat the next day. So again, quick summary: Monday is mentoring day, Tuesday is YouTube day, Wednesday is project day, Thursday is public facing day, Friday CEO day, Saturday fun day, and Sunday is family admin day. And that fits my life. That's a calendar for my life. It won't photocopy perfectly over to yours. But the key is to chunk your time and think about, what does a balanced life look like for me, so that I'm happy, I'm creative, I'm productive, I'm moving closer to becoming the person that I want to be. And if you can't control your calendar fully, maybe you have a job, maybe you have other responsibilities, maybe you're still stuck doing some things you don't want to do, that's cool. Don't stress out and worry about, I can't completely control my day. I can't have a YouTube day. Okay, don't worry about it. You have some controllable time. Focus on the controllable time you have and just be more intentional with it, so that you're not wasting time scrolling through Instagram posts or YouTube videos mindlessly, that you're there with intention, and you have a certain amount of controllable hours. I think part of the advantage of being an entrepreneur is we have a lot more controllable hours, right? If you're a full-time entrepreneur, you get to control. Sure, we have to, be responsive to our customers, but we don't have a boss, and we get to choose when we show up, and we get to choose what our calendar looks like. And that's part of the allure of being an entrepreneur, is that freedom. But if you're not completely there yet, you still have controllable hours. When you get home from work to the time you go to bed, when you wake up to the time you go to work, and then on weekends, you have controllable hours. Be more intentional with them and decide, what is the life that you want to live. That'll come down to then the habits that you're executing on daily, which comes down to your calendar. And when you can chunk similar tasks together, when you can stay in the same energy zone instead of switching between a million different tasks every day, it allows you to be more productive. It allows you to be more effective. It allows you to be happier. And it allows you to get a lot closer to your goals.
Rule number 6, choose to show up with love.
The fastest way to shift your mindset in a positive direction is to choose to show up with love. If you're stressed out, if you're fearful, if you've got anxiety, if you're low on energy, just shift. Just tell yourself, I'm going to show up with love, and see how that moves you forward in a positive direction. Otherwise, you get stuck. You stay stuck because you listen to the voices in your head as to you're not good enough and why you can't do it and everybody's doing better than you and so on. Where when you can choose to show up with love, it just negates all of that. So let me share a couple examples that I've used it in my life, and hopefully it applies to your life as well, to help you get the momentum that you need. So scenario number 1 is when you're stressed out, when you are overwhelmed, when you're doing something scary or you're in doubt, and you come up with all these reasons why you can't do something. So for me, it's staying on stage, going on stage, doing a big presentation, even making these videos. Every time before doing something that I want to be good, that I'm worried about, that I might disappoint somebody, the procrastination sets in, the fearful thoughts set in, because I want it to be the best that I've ever done. My biggest fear is still disappointing people. And instead of listening to those thoughts, and how it may show up as, my message isn't good enough. I don't know what gear to use. Maybe not in my case for that one, but what prevents you from doing it? There's logical reasons, but really just fear talking. Where if you can decide, if I'm making this video, is it my best video of all time? Maybe. I want it to be. Is it? Likely not, but I'm trying. And the way through that is just show up with love. Like, I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for putting goodness out into the world. I make these videos because you can reach people that I can't. Your business, your heart, your soul, your beliefs, what you've been through, your story can touch people and change the world in a way that I can't. And so if I can be a little bit of a push, motivation, whatever, to help you start doing something, that makes me happy. It fills me up knowing that what I'm doing matters is important, right? So show up with love. That's all I have to do. Don't worry about it being the best video of all time. Just show up with love. Don't worry about it being the best speech of all time. Just show up with love. Remember why you're doing it. It's another version of it, right? Like, why are you doing this thing, but not from an extra pressure? If you feel over pressured to be great, then that can be debilitating to the point where you freeze. A lot of procrastinations, you're just afraid to do the thing. And so choose to show up with love. I love this person. I love who I'm trying to help. Even if you don't know them, right? Some of you who are watching this video, I've never met you before. Thank you for being here. Even if you say I love you, even mentally, I love this person. I love my audience. I love my customers. Even if you haven't met them yet, it rewires you. It just makes it so much easier. Try it. Like, what are you procrastinating on that you want to get done? That you want to get done, not that you don't want to do, but you want to do. It's part of your goals. It's your ambitions that you hope one day you could be that person, right? What are you procrastinating on? And just flip it from having to be perfect to saying, I love these people. I'm going to show up with love. And watch it just shift you so you can actually start taking some momentum. It's a huge thing for anything that you're procrastinating on that you're afraid of. So that's scenario number one, the things that you're afraid of. Scenario two is people, and specifically the people who are negative, haters that we might call it. I don't actually like the term haters. I don't think there are haters. I think there's just people who are in a lot of pain. I think if somebody's highlight of their day is to show up and leave something negative on your website, on your YouTube video, on your social media accounts, whatever, they're in a lot of pain. I think people are built to serve. We are good. We want to help. We want to contribute. And so if somebody, that's everybody, like everybody wants to serve. So if somebody is showing up with negativity in their heart thrown at you when they've never even met you before, why would they do that? Well, they're in a lot of pain. Hurt people hurt people. And so a lot of times we get emotional. We don't like seeing those negative comments. I don't like seeing negative comments, even on a channel like mine where it's only positivity. I'm not making bash videos on people. If somebody's going to show up to a channel about positivity and leave negative comments, how much in pain do they need to be in to do that? And even just seeing it like that already starts to shift it. But what if you were to say, I love this person? Like, how would you show up if you loved your hater? Not because it fuels you to go prove them wrong and be better, but feel bad for them, not sorry for them, but just have empathy for them and say you love them. Like, if you love this person, how would you show up differently? Instead of allowing that comment that they left on your video to ruin your day, to maybe make you never post again, to get into a fight or debate or respond to them, and try to win the battle. Instead of that, if you actually said, hey, I love this person, even if you don't know them, you might think, well, that's ridiculous. I don't know this person. I know. I understand. This is not your mom coming on your YouTube channel and saying that you suck. It's some random stranger you've never met, and maybe you don't even know who they are, and you can't see their name, and their profile picture is a cartoon, right? Or a soccer player. So that's fine. But even if you just say, I love this person, how would it change if you love this person? And watch it shift you. Watch the chemicals and you start to shift towards you now being more proud of yourself. If you show up with love, it allows you to have the courage to be the person who you want to be, who you're proud of. Like, when you get some negative comment and then you respond in a really snarky way, or you show up, somebody slights you some way, somebody cuts you off in traffic. I'm in my car right now. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and you have to catch up to them and give them the look, or cut them off, or blast your horn. If you actually thought about that, are you ever proud of yourself? Are you proud of yourself in those moments? Like if you reflect back and see what you did in reaction, are you proud of how you showed up? Probably not, right? Probably not. At least I'm not when that happens. And so the way through it is to show up with love. Like even just tell yourself, I love this person. I'll practice it with random people on the streets. You know, like I'm walking down the street and somebody comes by and like, I love this person, just as a mental exercise of practice. How do you show up? Instead of just being head down, ignoring them, you know, looking at your phone, maybe you give them a smile. It feels really weird, especially as an introvert, shy person. I don't go up and say hi to people, but it's a good practice to get into. But especially for the haters, like number 1 and 2, one is, again, you're afraid, you're stuck, you're overthinking, stressed out. And number 2 is you're also afraid, but of people's opinions, and specifically the negativity that's out there. What they do is they prevent you from taking action. It keeps you out of momentum. You're just stuck in fear zone instead of creation zone. And so the opposite of fear is love, right? It's not hate. Like the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is fear. And so it allows you to get out of the fearful mindset and into a loving mindset, which is not just frou-frou, what, I don't know, fluffy. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It gives you into momentum mode. Moving from fear to love allows you to take action, and that's what makes it super practical. So have love even in your own mind for who you're trying to serve and what you're trying to create. Have love for any negativity, any people who are criticizing you. They're not haters, they're just people in a lot of pain, and show them love and watch how it shifts you into momentum. And then the third scenario is loving for yourself. A lot of times we just need to love ourselves more. So the first 2 are love that are outwardly pointed, right? Out toward our customers or the audience, towards people who are disagreeing with us or disrespecting us or hating on us. But the third one is just self-love, more self-compassion, self-love. Love that you showed up today. Love that you decided to watch this video today. Love that you're fighting to chase down your goals and your dreams, even in the face of not getting a lot of results or not being where you want to be. You know, you're probably not where you want to be right now. And maybe you're not proud of the week that you've had, or the day that you've had, or the month that you had, or the year that you've had, that you could have done better. You should be further ahead, right? Has that ever popped into your mind? So self-love, again, allows you to get into momentum. So what can you be proud of yourself for? So love that you showed up, love that you're trying today, love that you're watching this video right now, love that you're making another attempt, even if you failed at a million other times, you're trying again. Like love that you're starting, love that you're learning, love that you're adapting, love that you're gonna put your best shot this time, and maybe this is the one that actually sticks. Like love that about yourself, as opposed to just beating yourself up and say, oh well, here I am again, you know, another thing that's not gonna work, because again, that keeps you stuck. So all of this does 2 things. It allows you to actually build the thing that you want to build, right? It allows you to be proud of yourself. It allows you to start getting more results, start getting closer to your dreams, because you're showing up with love instead of fear, right? Love is the opposite of fear. And 2, it allows you to have more fun along the way, so that you're not just constantly stressed out of jumping from one problem to another problem to another problem to another problem. Because entrepreneurship is a lot of problems, right? You have a lot of problems running your business, a lot. And we're professional firefighters, just constantly putting out fires. So if you can do that with love, it's a lot more fun. It's just a lot more fun. So it allows you to be more productive and effective, and it's a lot more fun. And so I think love is a strategy. Love is the secret ingredient. And it's something that I'm not perfect at it. I need to constantly remind myself of it. This video is a great refresher for myself as well. And the more that you can have that as a reminder in your daily environment, as a mantra, as something that you live your life by, to choose to show up with love for your customers, for your haters, and for yourself. If you can start to embody that even 5% of the time, your entire life changes.
Rule number 7, be grateful.
Appreciation does not equal complacency. One of the biggest things that I think we struggle as entrepreneurs or as ambitious people is you feel like if you start being really appreciative of what you have, then you won't want to go off and do more. And that by being grateful or being appreciative of what you've got, it somehow squashes your ambition to go and create more. Have you ever thought about that? I have. And what I've realized over the years is that it's the exact opposite, at least for me. that the more I can lean in on appreciation, the more I can lean in on what I do have, it actually gives me the motivation to want to go off and do more. It feels like it's counterintuitive to say, but for whatever reason it works. So for example, whenever I look at my main channel, and we've got 3 million subscribers plus on the main channel, when I can connect to, I'm so appreciative of having 3 million subscribers on my main channel, it gives me, when I can feel it, when it's actually in my heart, it's like, wow, I can't believe that we have 3 million subscribers, that we've got 500 million views. That's more than the population of the United States in terms of the views on the channel. It sounds crazy. Whenever I can actually connect to that in my heart, not just that, ooh, that's really good, like a logical brain thing, but in my heart, it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to serve more. It makes me want to help more. It makes me want to do more videos. It makes me feel like what I do matters and is important. And I honestly think that this is one of the biggest reasons why I kept going. If you look at my channel, the main one, we started in 2009, so many years ago. And I've posted my progress of how well the channel's done over the years. And 5 years in, I had 7,000 subscribers, something like that. Can you imagine 5 years of making videos and you're still at 7,000 subscribers? And you know, year one was under 100 subscribers, and you know, you could see the growth on the website. What kept me going? I was shy, I was introverted, I was scared to make videos. What kept me going? What kept me going? What kept me going? People ask me all the time, how did you not burn out? What kept you going when you weren't seeing a lot of results? What kept me going was I always focused on who I was serving instead of who I wasn't. I did a live stream last night on my much newer gaming channel, and we had, I don't know, 7 people who were consistent in the chat. Why show up? Why do it? How is that not a waste of time? You know, like, why shouldn't I not be doing something else? Because I focused on the 7 people who were there. And I ended up making a great connection for 2 of the people. There's a guy named Michael who has a channel focused on helping people understand people with disabilities. And he brings on able-bodied people to ask questions that might be uncomfortable questions about what it's like living with a disability. And while he was on the live stream last night, I thought of another friend of mine, Nick Tabor, and I thought that the 2 of them would get along really well. And I ended up making a quick introduction for the 2 of them, and now they're connected, they're gonna make some content, and who knows, maybe that leads to nowhere, or maybe they become best friends and launch $1 billion business together. I don't know, but it feels like it matters. It feels like yesterday mattered, that stream yesterday mattered, that even though there are only 7 people on the stream, it felt like it matters. It felt like what I do matters to somebody. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want. You want to feel like you're going to wake up today and do something that's going to matter to somebody in a meaningful, deep way. And so you can be grateful for that. You can appreciate that. And in knowing that, it inspires me to want to go off and do more. It's not the opposite. It's not that, oh, I'm so grateful and appreciative that we had this great session last night, and so now I'm not going to make any more content. Having appreciation and gratitude for what you have actually lets you go off and create more. It puts you in a much better, much more positive, much more service mindset to want to go off and create even bigger scale things. So in my first videos, when I was struggling and didn't believe in myself and had no confidence, and this is the only thing I had going for me, was I kept going. And why did I keep going? It's because I just always, for whatever reason, there was no strategy behind it. There was no coach guiding me. I maybe got lucky, or maybe it was just great parenting. But I had the mindset of the time that, hey, 40 people saw this video. That's really cool. I'm helping somebody. And that's what kept me going. It took me 350 videos before I wasn't completely embarrassed by myself, and 700 videos until I inspired myself with one of my own videos, or I watched it back and I could finally start feeling proud. 700 videos before I finally started feeling proud of what I was making, that I could watch my own videos back and not cringe. So if that's you, if you're starting and you watch your own videos back and you think that you suck, well, hey, that was me too. And it took 700 public videos before I didn't think that I completely sucked. But I kept going because I felt like it mattered. Because at least for one person, maybe you watching this video, it's still what I use today. Maybe this is the video that encourages you to keep going, that encourages you to be a little more appreciative, that encourages you to share a little bit more, to say yes a little bit more, to take that idea that you've got in your brain and actually go and do something on it. Like maybe this is the video that pushes you just a little bit forward to go off and do it. Use it as permission to say, hey, I've got great ideas and I want to serve, and it's finally time for me to step up. You know, it's finally time. Whether it works or not, I'm going to try. I'm going to try a little bit more today because it might help one person. And if this is the video that gives you the permission to go and chase down that idea, that's it. That's why I do what I do. And as much as I love the numbers, and it's great, you know, yes, I want to hit 5 million subscribers and 10 million subscribers and whatever. I want to solve the world's biggest problem, right? People don't believe in themselves enough. That's the biggest problem in the world. I'm never going to do it. And I wake up every day trying to do it. But the thing that keeps me going is the appreciation and gratitude for what I have done and what I have in my life. You could stretch that to gratitude for your health. I actually just came back from the doctor's office. I'm getting immunotherapy done where I used to have really bad allergies to trees. Like trees and grass would cause crazy allergies. And I discovered immunotherapy where they basically put a little bit of tree and grass under your skin once a month, and slowly your body gets used to it. So now I can walk out without having allergies. I used to be taking 2 allergy pills a day from early spring to late fall, almost the entire year, just winter off, because I struggled so much with my allergies. And now I don't. And in being grateful and appreciative of my health, even as I'm saying these words out loud, where my brain goes next is I want to have more health. So it's the opposite, right? We think that if you're grateful and appreciative for what you have, you won't be ambitious and want more, but it's the opposite. As I think about my health and how grateful I am to not have allergies right now, to not be struggling right now, to not be on multiple allergy pills right now, now I want to be healthier. Now I want to go for a run. Now I want to make a extra salad. Like I want to invest more in my health because there's momentum behind it. And so wherever you apply appreciation and gratitude, you'll see that area of your life start to multiply. So if you're grateful for the relationships in your life, you'll see those relationships get better. If you're appreciative for what you've done in your business so far, even though it's not where you want to be, listen, you're never going to be where you want to be. But if you're grateful and appreciative for what you have done already in your business, it'll give you momentum to go and create more. So wherever you apply gratitude and appreciation, that area of your life will multiply, will get better, will continue to improve. I want you to think about the opposite. You know, again, we think that gratitude and appreciation leads to complacency. It doesn't. We think that being appreciative for what we have makes us less of an ambitious person. It doesn't. It's the opposite. Lean in on gratitude and appreciation and watch your entire life change.
Rule number 8, set your healthy boundaries.
The key to getting the life that you want is figuring out what you're going to say no to. You can get anything that you want. You just can't get everything that you want all at once. And if you're feeling like you're behind, you're unhappy, you're not getting anywhere close to your goals, you're not getting any kind of momentum towards achieving anything, then you have to start really examining what are you going to say no to? Where do we need to raise the bar, raise our standards, and stop saying yes to people, to ideas that don't ultimately serve where you want to go? So my son just finished having a month off of school. And so I had him for a whole month, no school. And I decided for that month that I would spend a lot of time with him, that instead of him just being over and me working and spending evenings together, that I would spend most of the time with him. So I went from working whatever our normal work hours are down to 10% of the work hours. I canceled almost all of my meetings. I canceled almost all of my calls. I didn't do any Instagram lives. The only ongoing one that I kept was my Movement Makers and Brandlytics program that I train on Thursdays. And that was almost it. I still stayed on top of email, but I wasn't doing most of the things that I was normally doing. I said no to most things. I said no to media opportunities. I said no to speaking opportunities. I said no to new ideas for this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channels. I said no to almost everything. I put up a boundary for the month because I wanted to be able to spend the time with my son. And we had an amazing time and it was awesome. And I took him to LA. He wants to be an actor, so I took him to LA and we went on some of the studio tours and did the Hollywood Walk of Fame and all of that fun stuff. And it was his first time there and it was amazing. I don't regret any of it. And also when I came back, there was a mountain of work that I had to do. There's a mountain of emails to get back to. There's a mountain of people that I needed to connect with. And so it's just making a decision as to what do I want in my life, especially right now, and are the things that I'm doing leading me towards it or not? And if there's people that are not just getting in your way, but people who are bringing you down, people who are pulling you off in a different direction. Everybody has an agenda for your life, right? Everybody has ideas for what you should be doing with your life. And we're constantly being pulled in a million different directions. So how do you know which is the right one to do? Well, the process that I go through is I start by figuring out what is my most important core value. So mine is belief, right? What is your most important core value? If you're being pulled in a million different directions by all sorts of people who have plans for what you should do with your life, until you understand what you stand for as a human, you're going to constantly be pulled in all those million directions and never feel like you have any safe spot to stand on. You're going to feel like you're in quicksand all the time. So what is your single most important core value? Maybe one already comes to mind. Maybe you've already done this exercise and you already know it, but that's a constant reminder. And if you don't know what your most important core value is, I go through it in your one word and Built to Serve, but basically think about all the things that have made you come alive, the people that you've loved, the movies you loved watching, your favorite teacher of all time. What's the common thread between all of them? It's a feeling, it's an emotion. Your favorite teacher growing up wasn't because they taught you, mine was Madame Farr, it wasn't because she taught me French, it's because she made me believe in myself more, right? So all those great things that made you come alive, what's the consistent thread between those things? And that's what you need more of right now, and it's what you need more of in the future going into your life. So the projects that don't feel right, the people who are pushing you in the wrong direction, it could be from a really loving place, but if it doesn't match up with your most important core value, plus the goals that you're trying to accomplish, then it's not a fit. And I don't think you have to have necessarily tough conversations with toxic people. Just stop spending time with them. Just stop spending as much time with them. If there's people who are constantly negative around you, just stop spending time with them. Raise the bar for what you accept into your life. And so the willingness to say no, to understand that you can't have everything, but you can have anything, and being super clear on what that anything is. And by going after that anything, by going after your big goals, it requires you to say no to other things. And this isn't just a business thing. This is for any goal that you've got. If you've got a health goal, right? If you've got a health goal, well, you can have anything you want. You can go have pizza and donuts and beer and whatever. You can go eat that. You'll feel good in the moment. But you can't have everything, because you'll end up being overweight and unhealthy and probably not happy with your life. If you are happy, great, keep going off and doing it. But this morning I've got my coffee. I go on a believe walk every morning. I spend time thinking about what I want today to look like. I'm making YouTube videos. What's my intention? What I want to put out there to the world. Go get a coffee for myself and Nina, and it's just a coffee. It's not what I love to go to Tim Hortons, nice Canadian brand if you don't know Tim Hortons, and get a farmer's wrap with bacon and sausage and egg and hash brown and a Boston cream donut. Of course, my mouth is watering as I'm saying all that stuff, but I'm not doing it because I've got a health goal. And so I can have anything, but I can't have everything. And so it's the willingness to say no to those other things that may even bring you some kind of short-term benefit, but are in alignment with who you want to be. So it's getting really clear on who you are, what's your most important core value, and then what are the goals that you want for yourself. And then the things that no longer kind of match up, the activities. If you want to hit your goals, it's the activities and the habits that you're doing on a daily basis, right? Eating a donut every now and then, it's not the end of the world. Eating the donut every day, you're going to not hit your health goals. So it's more about what are you doing consistently every day. If you're around negative people constantly, every day, you're going to be a lot more negative. If you're around them every now and then, it's not going to make that big of an impact. So you are where you consistently do. And so it's choosing to show up in a certain way, to say no, and setting boundaries and raising the standard for what you consistently accept into your life. And it's a choice. It's a decision. And you don't have to make some giant decision like I'm only going to hang around millionaires now. I mean, you could if you want. But a lot of these decisions are made in increments, that it's much more important. What are you doing today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day, and these micro improvements that you're going to make, where you're constantly and never-endingly, is that a word? Never-endingly raising the bar for what you accept into your life. And one of my favorite ways to do it is content, is videos. If you feel like you're kind of stuck and you haven't grown in a while, and the friends around you are just thinking small and they're not inspiring you, and you feel stuck. If you look back on the past year of your life, have you grown? Are you further ahead? Do you know more? Are you more confident? Have you accomplished more? Are you moving closer towards your goals? Are you proud of the person that you have become, right, in the past year? And if no, then it's changing the environment to be around the people who are like who you want to be. And I find content is the best way to do it. It's why I make these videos. It's why I do my main channel. It's why I do so much content, that whether you're learning from me or Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey or Tony Robbins or Lisa Nichols or whoever, that there's always something every day to be there for you. On my Believe walks in the morning, I always listen to one of my videos. So on the walk to get the coffee, I'm usually doing videos myself, or responding to people on Instagram and DMs, and just sending out love and feeling like I'm part of the community and the work I do matters. And then on the way back, because I have 2 cups of coffee in my hand, I can't record videos. So I'm listening and watching one of the videos from my channel. And I love starting my day with a Warren Buffett or an Elon Musk or whoever in my ears, because it pushes me forward. No matter how big I'm thinking, how great I am, the work that I'm doing, I love being around people who are doing more, and it pushes me forward. And no matter how great a day I had yesterday, today feels like a new day. You know, you have the greatest day of all time yesterday, but that buzz, that high fades. The feeling like you're unstoppable fades. And so it's having that as a consistent, again, you are what you consistently do. Having that as a consistent part of your routine is being surrounded by the people, even if you don't have them as friends, but videos, podcasts, books of the people who are thinking, living, acting like the way you want to. And the more that you're around them, the more they will pull you forward to accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, and you becoming the person you want to be. So you can have anything you want. You can have anything you want. You just can't have everything. And the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is what and who you are now going to start saying no to, because you've raised your standards.
Rule number 9, find your purpose.
Your vision comes from your purpose, and your purpose comes from your pain. And people ask me all the time, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my... It's one of the number one questions people have. Well, it's actually pretty easy. To find your purpose, you just have to understand that it comes from your pain. Whatever you struggled with the most as a human being in your life is the thing that you want to help other people through. And that may be something on a big scale, where you want to change the world and make sure that it never happens to anybody else ever again, and ease the suffering for others along the journey. If you're watching this video, you're on this channel, it's probably more the way that you lean, but it could also just be the people closest to you, the closest members in your family, your closest friends, the team that you're on, your co-workers. Those are the people who you want to help the most. You don't have to go off and change the world, but you do have to feel like what you do matters. At the end of the day, all of us want to make sure that we wake up and we feel like today's going to matter. When you feel like today matters to somebody, that you're going to be doing work that is in service to other people, that you will matter to them, that what you create today will matter to them, it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel alive. It's going to make you feel worthy. It's going to make you feel proud of yourself. However, when you wake up and you feel like today doesn't matter, like nobody cares if you show up, that your work will be meaningless, you're just going to toil away and do useless things. We probably all had jobs like that, right? You had a job like that, you woke up, you went to your work, felt like you're just going to plug away, even if you were working hard, but it just didn't matter. There's no appreciation. The work you did didn't matter. It didn't matter if you showed up or not. Right? That's, I think most people, we've at least had a job like that at some point in our past. And that's the path down to feeling worthless and depression, anxiety, and suicide, and a lot of the problems that we're facing. For a lot of people, the biggest problem is just you don't feel like the work you're doing is meaning anything to anybody, and therefore you feel like you don't matter because the work you're doing is not meaning anything to other people. Therefore, you don't matter, because deep down we all want to serve. You were built to serve. We all want to feel like what we do matters. So you don't have to necessarily have a big vision for the world, but you do have to figure out your purpose. And your purpose comes from your pain. So for me, I struggled so much as an entrepreneur, as a 19-year-old, getting this first business off the ground and turning down the big jobs and failing and sucking and making no money and just pouring everything I had into this company and being absolutely broke financially and emotionally. You know, the initial high of I'm going to start a business, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, we're going to do this, we're going to change the world, was great. And then it wears off when you realize nothing is happening. We're barely getting any customers, we're barely making any money. The high of the launch fades pretty quickly, and then you're in the muck of actually just trying to create things. And I really struggled, and those were the worst days of my life. It led to some of the best days, but just the worst days emotionally, feeling like I was worthless. And so that's why I do what I do, because I want to help all the 19-year-old Evans out there not struggle as much as I struggled, not be as embarrassed to ask for help, not to be as ashamed to feel like a total failure, not to feel like I'm going through this alone, not to have zero mentors and building this up, not to pretend like everything is great when it's not. And it's not only talking to 19-year-olds around the world. You know, it could be you. It could be the 52-year-old woman, you know, who's going through the same thing. It's that emotion. And so I love helping. I've helped a lot of big people with their channels and their businesses, but my heart is really in the startup, because that's where I really struggled the most myself. And so that's what I'm trying to create. And every day I wake up and try to do something else, whether it's a YouTube video or a TikTok or an Instagram or write the book or a speaking engagement, and whatever the next thing is, VR Evan and hologram Evan and 3D Evan and whatever, beaming into your living room. This is something forever. And people ask me, how have you not burnt out? How do you keep going? So many years later, thousands of videos later. Well, I feel like I'm living my purpose. I record videos on Tuesday. It's another Tuesday. We're sitting here in the car, and my wife is at her acupuncture appointment, and I joined her, and I've got my coffee, and I'm sitting in the car making videos, and this is video number I don't know how many thousand. And why I keep going? Well, because I feel like this video will mean something to at least one person. Maybe it hits 1 million people, maybe it hits one person, but it's going to be valuable to at least one person. And when you can feel that, when you can genuinely feel that you're making something that's going to actually touch at least one human being, man, that's a good addiction to get, you know, to feel like we matter. So think back to what was the most painful moment of your life. You want to find your vision, you want to find your purpose. What's the most painful moment of your life? When did you struggle the most as a human? When did you feel the most worthless, useless? It doesn't mean that you were suicidal, though maybe you were, but also doesn't mean that you were in depression. You know, maybe you were. But when did you just feel the lowest? I never had any suicidal thoughts. I don't think I was depressed either, but I felt really low. When was that moment for you? What were the worst days of your life? And your purpose is then to help other people who are struggling with that very same thing, because you've made it through. And it doesn't mean that you're done growing and learning. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. That's why I still watch videos and make videos, because I'm still learning, and that's great. You want to climb, you climb forever. You never want to stop progressing and stop climbing. That's the whole idea. You know, beyond the mountain there's more mountains. You want to climb forever, swim forever, play the game forever. There is no finish line. That's the best part of it. And every time you take another step, you reach back and you help somebody get to where you're at. And so you've learned a lot of lessons. If you think about who you used to be, go back to that moment where you were struggling the most, and that person, you know, for me, It's probably sitting at my business partner's dining room table, just frustrated, lost, tried everything, nothing's working. How am I here? Why did I say no to that job? Why did I say yes to this? Did I just throw away everything my whole life? You know, it might be overly dramatic, but that's what was going through my mind. So this is what I was actually thinking. So what would I go back and tell that Evan? So for you, what was the most painful moment of your life? Imagine it, picture it, see yourself there. Who are you with? Where are you? You know, what's the setting around you? And imagine you can go back and talk to that person, younger you. You had 15 minutes with that person. What would you say? You could help that person, right? You don't have to be Simon Sinek or Tony Robbins or Oprah Winfrey or whoever. You can go back and help younger you. You can give them some advice. And in fact, younger you would probably listen to you a lot more than they would listen to me or Simon Sinek or Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey or whoever, because you've gone through it. They know who you are. They know that you understand them. And so they need your help. And that's what you create, whether it's making YouTube videos, whether it's some product or service that you end up selling, whether it's joining some other organization who has a similar vision that you're going to tie yourself to. But that's what you want to do. That will make your life meaningful. That will make you feel valuable. That'll make you feel connected to the thing that you're waking up every day doing. And I think ultimately that's what makes people happy. And so your vision comes from your purpose comes from your pain. And if you felt like you're reaching back and touching younger you and helping make sure that other people don't have to struggle and suffer as much as you did, that's the secret. That's the answer. That's the path to fulfillment, happiness, money, and most importantly, feeling like you are proud of yourself and that you matter.
Rule number 10, the last one before our very special bonus clip, move toward your goals.
Stop focusing on 10-year goals and worry about what's in front of you right now. I think people spend too much time worrying about their life plan, about their 5-year goals or 10-year goals. Think about where you were 10 years ago. Who were you? What were your goals? What did you think was possible 10 years ago? I'm 40. How old am I, Nina? 41? Am I 41? I'm 42 soon. Wow. So 42. When I was 32, did I predict that I'd be here? No. Think about where you were 10 years ago. Could you, with any degree of confidence, say, this is where I'm going to be in 10 years and this is what ended up happening? There's no way. Like, you from 10 years ago has no idea what you're capable of. And that's the point. Like, if you're growing, if you're learning, if you're improving, if you're getting better, then you have no idea what you're capable of doing in a 10-year window. You just don't. All you can do is a best guess. If you're going to project forward 10 years, it's a best guess of where you're at right now. And that can still be a useful exercise. To come up with a list of ideas and goals of where you want to be in 5 years or 10 years can still be a useful exercise for where you are right now. The challenge with it, and why I'm not a huge fan of it, is because it often then leads to you locking yourself in. Because if you are growing and you're learning and you're improving and you're getting better, you're watching videos like this, you care about, improving yourself, then you honestly should jump off your 10-year goals 2 years in, 16 months in, maybe 3 months in, because you've learned something new. And now this is a better path for you. If you can, with precision, hit your 10-year goals, then I think you're thinking small. You're thinking small. You're living a boxed-in life. You're at a very boring job, and you know the path up, and that's where you're going to be in 10 years. I think if you love your life and you're learning and you're growing, you have no idea what you're capable of in a 10-year window. Okay, so if 10-year goals aren't the answer, then what's the answer? How do I get some kind of direction and clarity for what I should do with my life? Well, I divide into two things. One is you've got your purpose, and then you've got what's in front of you. So the purpose is something that will never change. I believe your purpose comes from your pain. So two of the most important exercises you can ever do is to figure out your who and your why. And I go through this in Built to Serve, my book. But your who is your single most important core value. Mine is believe. Figure out what yours is. That gives you clarity for the rest of your life. what I want to create is things that help me believe in myself more, and then I can spread more belief to the world as well, right? What is your single most important core value? If you feel lost, you're struggling, you feel like you're pulled in a million different directions, everybody's got some agenda for your time, your challenge is you don't know what you stand for. So figure that out. Your single most important value, your who. Your why is your purpose. Your purpose comes from your pain. So whatever you struggled with the most is the thing you want to help other people through. Whatever challenges, hurdles that you've overcome, the most important ones, at the time when you felt the most useless as a human, there are other people right now, millions of people right now, who are struggling with that same exact thing. And your purpose is to help them not feel as isolated, as alone, and help them not struggle as much. So for me, it was helping entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. So belief plus entrepreneurship, right? Because that's my who and my why. So for you, what is your single most important core value? And then what is your pain that you experience the most? And in that combination is what you'll love doing for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Like I'll be 120 years old, 200 years old, who knows how long we'll be living, and I'll still love believing in entrepreneurs forever. It never gets old. It doesn't go away. If anything, it only gets stronger. And that's why I think it's one of the most important exercises, if not the most important 2 exercises you can ever do in your life, because it helps you understand your life going backwards. But more importantly than that, helps you plan a better life going forward. Who do you want to be? What is the work that you want to do that will be of service and in helping others and make you feel like your life has meaning and allow you to be proud of yourself? That is a high level of what you want to do for the rest of your life. Figuring out your who and your why, right? Your most important core value and your purpose. Okay. It doesn't really give a lot of guidance of like what exactly to do, right? It doesn't dive into a lot of the tactics. Like, okay, well, what do I wake up and do today? If I want to believe in entrepreneurs, it's still pretty big. It's still a pretty wide purpose, a pretty wide mission. What do I actually want to do today? Well, that's where you connect to whatever's in front of you right now. What are you most attached to? What are you most emotional about? What is your heart telling you to go off and do? And less about in 10 years, I want to have a New York Times best-selling book, or insert whatever, goal that you think is meaningful to you, and much more about what would make me come alive right now, and trusting that instinct. So right now it's making YouTube videos. So we're in the car, we're on the way to Costco. He's got some stuff to buy, and I'm making videos because I feel like this matters, because it's going to reach somebody. Because not just all my videos, but this video right now, this one specifically, maybe for you, this is the moment where things shift and change. Maybe this is the one that gives you the permission to go and do something bigger. Maybe it gives you the confidence or the courage to say yes to the idea that you've got in the back of your mind that you've been delaying a little bit too long on, procrastinating a little bit too long on, fearful that it won't work out. And this is the video that helps you push forward and do it. At least that's what I'm telling myself, that for one person, this is going to be the video that makes a change. That's how I am able to get up and do these things. Otherwise, you land in the land of what's the point? And if you're stuck in what's the point land, then you don't make anything. That's the brakes on everything that you want out of life. And so you've got your vision, you've got your purpose. What are you trying to accomplish, right? You've got your most important core value, and then you've got what's in front of you. What do you work on right now, and how excited are you by it? A lot of times people come to me and they've got their list of all the things that they could do. I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do this. What are you most excited by? How many of those things on your list are because you think you should do them, or because somebody told you that you should do them, versus you're actually jazzed about doing it? When I first started doing videos, I sucked at it. Being introverted and shy and not knowing any of the technical stuff and the gear, and I really struggled at it. And there was nothing on paper that would have led itself to me being a content creator, right? The career tests or whatever would never have pointed towards something like this. But I made a video because I felt like it, and I liked it. I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't getting any results from it, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. And that is the thing that allowed me to keep going. So out of all the things that are on your list or ideas, what do you feel most attached to? What are you most energetic by? What would get you going, that it doesn't feel like work to show up and do these things, but it's actually fun? The process, not just the result of helping somebody, but the actual process of doing the work feels good to you. It's exciting to you. What is that thing? And then go do it. And if you can match those two things, setting goals is relatively easy. Saying you want to have a New York Times best-selling book in the next 10 years, it's an easy goal to pick. The problem with it is that you're not emotionally connected to it enough. It doesn't mean enough to you. What does that actually mean? And it's still set by a person who's not capable of thinking on a 10-year horizon, because you're going to be a different person 10 years from now. You'll still have the same core values, but you're going to be stronger. You're going to know more. You're going to have a lot more experience. The world will be different. The opportunities will be completely different. Right? Where was I 10 years ago on YouTube? Not very far. A couple hundred subscribers. Would I say I'm going to have 3 million subscribers on my YouTube channel? No, I didn't think that was possible. Being a YouTuber wasn't even a thing. So you don't know what the world holds for you. So you've got your most important core value, your who. You've got your purpose, which is your why that comes from your pain. And then you've got what's in front of you right now. And don't overjudge and overanalyze. You don't have the next 18 steps lined up for yourself for what you should be doing with your life, because nobody's got that. And if you've got that, then you're thinking small because you don't know what you're capable of. So don't overstress, don't overanalyze. And the most important thing is take that, if you've done the work on the high level to figure out your who and your why, then what's in front of you right now that you're excited about, that you could do, that is of service to other people, and get going. Because you've got the heart, you've got the energy, you've got the capability, you've got the passion, you've got the desire and the willingness to serve. You just got to get out and start doing it. Get going. Believe.
Stop thinking that you should be fearless. If you go through life fearless, that means you are playing small and not doing anything that is worth doing. You should be dreaming big. You should be pushing boundaries. And in that push comes fear. Instead of trying to be fearless, adopt a mindset that you want to feel the fear and do it anyway. Otherwise, you will never take on big projects, and you'll never accomplish your mission, and you'll always live below the potential that you know you're capable of. Your environment has been perfectly created to keep you exactly where you are. Everything around you, your friends, your family, the media you consume, all keeps you exactly where you are. If you want to raise your standards and raise the quality of your life, it starts with raising your environment. So here's a story I haven't told in a while. When I was building up my YouTube channel and I closed my first multi-year deal with a big brand, it was with a CEO, high-powered CEO, one of the largest companies in the world, especially in the entrepreneur space. And it was going to be me and him on my channel every month answering questions from you guys, from the audience. We did a live stream every month. And it wasn't me interviewing him or him interviewing me. It was both of us talking about a certain topic and then taking questions. And I remember driving with my dad. He was getting a new car, and we had this long drive out. For whatever reason, the place where we wanted to buy the car was super far away, and so it gave us this chance to talk in a car. And I just told him about this new deal that I had signed. I remember him asking me, Evan, what gives you the confidence to feel like you're on the same level as this guy? And he didn't mean it in a negative way. It was in a more awestruck way. It's like, man, look at where you've come from, because my family is very humble. Like, you have to be very humble. You have to appreciate what you've got. And so how am I now? How do I see myself on the same stage as this high-powered CEO, being his equal, answering questions? And the question took me aback, and I thought, you know what? He's right. I mean, if this was Evan of 5 years prior, I would have felt not worthy. I would have felt like I couldn't do it. I would have felt like this is too big an opportunity for me. Like I couldn't be the guy to do it. So what changed 5 years ago to where I was at that point? It was my content. It was my channel. It was all the videos that I'm putting up, because in my head, it was a big deal in that this is the largest deal I had signed for 3 years, but more that I'm around Oprah every day, and Dan Pena every day, and Kanye West every day, and all these people every day. And so I feel like I'm with them. And so this CEO deal wasn't that huge a deal, because I had changed my environment, right? I'd raised the stakes in my environment, and that raises your standards. And so I realized, man, this is crazy how important my channel is to myself, at least to my own growth. If it's not to you, at least to my own growth, because you often can't see it on a daily basis. I could not pinpoint the one video I uploaded or the one day that I felt, this is it, it's happened. But if I look back over a 5-year period, a 1-year period, a 6-month period, even a 3-month period, think about who you were 3 months ago. If you're invested in yourself by watching these videos or reading books or anything else, if you're investing in yourself, even just look 3 months back and think, have I grown? How much have you grown in the past 3 months? You may not see it on a daily basis, but with months and then more months and then more months and then years, if you keep on the path, you'll see some tremendous results. You may not even recognize the person who you used to be. And that's why it's so important that you raise your environment. What would the boldest version of you do? Think about your mission. Think about your goals. Think about what you are trying to accomplish. You've got what you're doing now, but think about what the boldest version of you, if you summoned the boldest version of you into existence right now, what would he or she tell you to do? So when I did my tour earlier this year, it was 90 days, 23 cities. And at first I wanted to do it for free. I love doing free coffee shop meetups every time I travel to a new city. And I told my agent, Steve in New York, hey man, this is my idea. He said, you need to charge for the event. You gotta play bigger. You gotta do a bolder version of you. And it's freaked me out. It scared me because I don't want to disappoint people. And the idea of charging for something and then me disappointing people and then hitting that fear every 4 days, because I got up in a new city every 3 to 4 days for 90 days, was me being able to conquer my fears. And so Steve pushed me, and I have Steve's voice in my head. It's like, you need to play bigger. You got to do something bolder. What's the next step? And so I'm looking at my next tour coming up in 2020 around my book, Built to Serve, and I'm trying to think, how do I make it even bigger? How do I make it even bolder? Because what I've done has been great. And it's not trying to take away from what I've done. It's amazing. I'm proud of myself. I'm grateful. Awesome. And I know I'm capable of more. And I know I need to do something at the next level, because if I want to go off and accomplish my mission, I need to. Because at the rate I'm going right now, I'm not going to hit 1 billion people. I'm not going to solve the world's biggest problem. I'm not going to have the impact and reach that I know I can have unless I demand more boldness, bigger scale from myself on a daily basis. And so for me, having Steve's voice in my head, having Elon Musk's voice in my head, having Steve Jobs and Ipa Giannini and my parents and Kanye West and Howard Schultz constantly in my head, the content that I make is for myself. It's selfish for myself. And then I share it with you guys, and thankfully you like it, so I could build a business around it and hire a team and keep creating more. What makes you bold? What makes you come alive? And how do you summon that creature on a daily basis? If you wake up and you daily, every day, consistently are bringing the boldest version of you, even for 1 year, if you woke up every day for 1 year and summoned the boldest version of you, your life is going to look dramatically different 1 year from today. If you are not focused on your goals, you either don't want them or you are afraid of them. You might just not want to do them. You might be in the wrong thing. You might have picked the wrong goals for the wrong reasons. Or you're afraid of your goals. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of it not working out and what that means. Either way, the answer is action. If you don't love it, move on immediately. And if you're afraid of it, move into it immediately. Focused action is always the answer. So one of the entrepreneurs that I've invested into, his name is Alex. He helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa, which is the largest salsa dance school in Canada, maybe North America. And we're sitting down reviewing his goals and reviewing his habits and making sure that what he said he was going to do matches to him accomplishing his goals. And there were a couple things that were big things on the list that he had to get done, and he was afraid of making a mistake. So for example, we're trying to create the interior of the studio and make a wall that speaks to the purpose of the company, speaks to the mission, the vision, what we're trying to accomplish. And we want to have something beautiful that people want to take their pictures on. And he's so afraid of getting it right. He's so afraid of doing the wrong thing that he does nothing. And every time he opens up the file to look at what he wants to do and different ideas, he's afraid he's going to make a mistake. He's afraid he's going to invest time, energy, dollars, my money into something that then when people show up, say, huh? And it doesn't work out. He's so afraid to fail that he doesn't take action, which becomes the biggest failure of all. So here was our solution. Procrastination Power Hour. Said every day, PPH, put it into your calendar for 1 hour. This is your PPH time, the thing that you have been procrastinated on, right? The thing that serves the business. If you've been procrastinating on it and you don't like it and it doesn't serve the business, great, get rid of it. That's not what we're talking about. It's the things that you're afraid of, the things that you don't want to make a mistake on, that you're just pushing aside because there's all this busy work that comes in. Because yes, we have to respond to customers, and yes, we got to do all the work that goes into the day-to-day of running the company. But if you're so focused on just the day-to-day and never focus on the things that will actually help you grow, the bigger picture stuff, then guess what happens? You never do the bigger picture stuff. Especially if it's because you're afraid, then you have to take action. So we planned a daily procrastination power hour that he puts into his calendar, and he looks at it. When he gets there, he thinks, what am I procrastinating the most on? And he's got this list and he starts attacking it. And having that in his calendar is the thing that actually started building momentum for those big projects. Paul Newman, the legendary actor, had an amazing quote that I love to repeat. He said, I check my pulse, and if I can find it, I know I've got a chance. You've got a very important choice to make. You either make the rest of your life the best of your life, or you settle for what is and live in your excuses. So you know why I would give up? You know what I'm deeply afraid of? I've got two. I've got a short-term fear and a long-term fear. My short-term fear is of disappointing people. My biggest short-term in-the-moment fear is disappointing people. That I would show up to an event and let people down, that I wouldn't give them value, that people would come and waste their time, spend their money, and I didn't give them value. I'm deeply afraid of it, and still am. I put pressure on these videos. I want these videos to be great. Every time I get in front of this camera and start making a video, I put pressure on myself that this needs to be the best video that I've ever done. I want to not disappoint you guys every single time. And there's this little pause, hesitation before filming, and I'll spend a couple minutes procrastinating because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of disappointing you and making a crappy video. I'll procrastinate and then I'll do it. And I'll feel great doing it. But my biggest short-term fear is disappointing people. My biggest long-term fear is of regret. Is that I won't live my life. Is that I'll look back and say I could have done more. I should have pushed harder. Because you rarely regret the things that you did, it's the things that you didn't do. The things you were too afraid to do. The actions not taken. That's what you normally regret. And so my biggest short-term fear is disappointing people. My biggest long-term fear is fear of regret. And those things, they fight each other. Right? They fight each other because if I'm afraid of disappointing somebody, I'm not going to take the action that I should be taking, and then I'm going to regret it later on. And so I try to use that fear of potential regret to push me into action. To say, if I don't make videos today, if I don't do that speech, if I don't get up and make that presentation, if I don't do the thing that I'm afraid to do because of disappointing people potentially, then I'll regret it. And I'll put the pressure like, this is the video. This video right here, this is the video that's gonna blow up everything. That'll change the whole game for me. And if I don't record it because I'm afraid of disappointing somebody, I'm gonna regret that my whole life. And I make it so painful for myself that then I have to act. And that pain pushes me into action and out of procrastination mode. When did you decide that your dreams shouldn't be big? When did you decide that you shouldn't tell anyone else about your dreams? Until you own your dreams and stop making yourself feel small, those dreams will never happen. Never. Now, this is something everybody struggles with. Everybody. Myself, Mel, everybody. We're worried about playing a bigger game. We're worried about thinking bigger for ourselves, and we're worried about telling other people because what if it doesn't work out? What if we don't make it? What's that judgment gonna come? How are they gonna think about us? And so I think about my own story, what I'm trying to create. The biggest fight that I used to get into with my agent, Steve, was he says, Evan, you need to be a household name. You need to be famous. Like, Steve, I don't want to be famous. I equated famous to ego. If you're famous and you're this big egomaniac. I don't want to be an egomaniac. It's not about me. It's about spreading belief. I'm nervous getting in front of the camera. Even before filming this video, I'm nervous. Like I wanted to do well. The lights come on. I don't crave it. I don't crave attention. I'm an introvert. I like just doing my thing. Evan, you need to get famous. Why, Steve? Why do I need to get famous? And for maybe 2 years, we fought over this. Because I kept equating fame with ego, and I looked at the people who were famous, and like, I don't want to be like them. And there's a lot that they did that bothered me, and I wanted to do it a different way. And that's the key. It's finding the different way to do it. How does an introvert on a mission become famous? I don't know. We're gonna go on this journey together and hopefully find out. What finally clicked for me was him saying, when you get famous, your mission will spread. If you start tying actions to mission, that's how you get me to move. For other people it might be, hey, I'll give you all this money if you do this, or you'll have the fame or credibility or have statues built. I don't need statues built of me. But as soon as you tie it to mission and service, that gets me going. So he said, if you actually want to fulfill your mission, if you say you want to spread belief, then you need to get famous. Because the more people know about you, the more people will hear your message. And it finally stuck. Like, okay, I got to do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never tried to do it. I've always wanted to be behind the spotlight. And so now this is part of my mission. I need to become a household name and get famous so that more people can believe in themselves. If I actually want to solve the world's biggest problem, then I need to be out there doing it. I need to believe in myself more. Right? If I'm trying to spread belief, I need to believe in myself more too. And so I think that's a human condition. That's part of what we want to do. You want to step outside your comfort zone. You want to serve. Humans are built to serve. We are built to serve. But service requires helping other people. And because we're afraid of judgment, you don't want to do it. So you've got your foot in the gas and the brake at the same time. You want to help people, but you're worried about their judgment. So you don't do anything. You know you're capable of more. But you don't do it because you're afraid. You need people in your life to hold you accountable because you will never push yourself as hard as you can go. You get a personal trainer not because of what exercises you should do. You can look that up online. The real value of a trainer is to have somebody right there in front of you in your face telling you to do 3 more reps of that exercise when you want to quit. When you're gonna tap out, and if you were by yourself, you'd say, I'm done, and they say, give me 3 more. Because all of the growth happens in that last set. If there's nobody around you to hold you to a higher standard, you'll always know that there's another level, but you'll be too afraid to reach for it yourself. So let's use me as an example. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I don't think people believe in themselves enough. It's why I created this channel and all the other ones I have, and the books and the speaking and everything I do. I want to go out and do this impossible thing that's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna solve the world's biggest problem, and yet I wake up every day and I try to do it. And I use a combination of what I call aspirational mentors, which are people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and the people that I profile on this channel. And then I also do it from people who challenge me one-on-one. If you watch my Entrepreneur Advice channel, I get pushed every week by my agent Steve, by psychologists in Australia, by people who are coaching me on how to get better. And they push me and they tell me I need to do more. And they tell me I'm being an idiot in these areas. And like, go, this is the homework. And the more uncomfortable I feel during that process, usually the better the advice is. If I think about the tour that I launched last year and now the tour that I'm doing this year, it started as a free tour and became a paid tour when my agent Steve pushed me to do it. Like, you need to charge for this. And immediately my heart's booming. Boom, 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 boom. I'm scared. It means I have to do it. Having people around you who can push you to do the things that you need to do, who make you nervous, who make you scared, who see your blind spots, who cut through your BS, who tell you that's just fear talking, because we'll come up with really logical reasons why we can't do something. Or aspirational mentors who, when you see how they react to things, how they see things, how they understand the world, and then you look at what you're doing, it forces you to be pulled up. It forces you to take the next step up on the staircase. You need to do it because your environment's been perfectly designed to keep you where you are. Your friends, your family, all of it. It's keeping you exactly where you are. And the difference between where you are now and where you want to be and where you can be in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, is going to be the people you have around you and how much they're willing to push you, to believe in you, to tell you what you may not want to hear, but you need to hear to grow, to challenge yourself and get to the next level. Comparing yourself to other people can be a fantastic thing, But there's only one way to make it work. You have to kick yourself forward, not down. You kick yourself forward, not down. Most people, here's what they do. Most people, you see somebody who's had success, you see somebody with a Ferrari or the car, or somebody who you're jealous of, or you're insecure about yourself when you're around them. You see them and you think you suck. You look at them and say, I suck. Why am I not further ahead? Why is Dan, who's not even 40 years old yet, have all of this success and here I am and I'm not doing it yet? Right? You kick yourself down. That's how most people do it. And in public, you might tell your friends how that person's a scumbag. He stole, he's ripping people off, he's a jerk. But when you go home, you just tell yourself, man, why am I not further ahead? Why am I here? Why am I stuck? Why am I not getting more momentum? You've been kicked, but you've been kicked down. Where what you want to do is kick yourself forward. You want to kick yourself forward. If you see Dan driving his Ferrari, or you see somebody that you look up to and respect, use it as a kick forward to say, this is what's possible. This is what's possible. And if he can do it, if she can do it, then I can do it too. My hero is young Les Brown. I love him from a speaker, just my favorite speaker of all time. I look at that and I say, I can get better. Not that I suck, it's that this is what's possible. I need to get better, I need to improve, I need to practice, I need to keep going, because that's what's possible. People think that closing is a bad word, that salespeople are slimy, and closing someone on something is good for you, but not necessarily good for them. Now, some people are like that, but it doesn't have to be you. You want to help people, and if you know that they should be taking action in an area where they are not, their ability to follow through and listen to your advice is directly in relation to your ability to close them. If you want to help people, you need to learn how to close. I was really in this same camp. You know, I thought salespeople were slimy. I'm a humble Canadian with humble parents, and never really learned about sales and techniques and closing, because that's what bad people do, you know. And my passion is to live a life of service, and I saw my mom do it. You know, she's on the wall behind me, and all the great efforts that she went through to help humanity and the people around her. And there was a moment in time I realized that there was this one moment that this is when I needed to learn how to get better at closing. This is when I realized I need to learn this skill, because if I don't, it's going to limit my impact that I want to build, that I want to help people, right? It's going to limit my impact. So here's what happened. There's an entrepreneur friend of mine. He had this successful business that he was thinking, do I sell it or do I just let it run on autopilot? Sell it or let it run on autopilot? Because he wanted to go off and do something else. He wanted to leave the country, join a different business, start something new. And this company that he created, he was on the fence whether he should just let it go and sell it, or go off and try to bring somebody on who would just run it and he could be on autopilot mode. The allure of passive income and just everything's gonna be done for you automatically, right? Anyway, so I told him, you need to sell the business, sell it now, sell it while you still have one foot in the water, sell it while you still have some kind of care for the company before you hate it. Because once you're moving on and doing other things, any involvement in this business is gonna be such a drain and a drag for you. You can't be in this thing, you need to move on. And he hemmed and hawed, I wasn't sure. And I wasn't good at closing him. I wasn't a good enough communicator to help him through that decision, because I knew that was the right thing for him. Anyway, he didn't do it. He didn't sell the business. He thought he's gonna live this life, you know, live overseas and have this business run on autopilot. And then the business crashed. The business crashed because the person that he brought in didn't care as much as he did, wasn't the owner like he was. He wasn't there to make sure things happened. When crises, you know, did happen, he wasn't super responsive. And eventually the business just fumbled, just disintegrated, just fell apart. Even telling a story now brings me back, because I see that as my responsibility. Because he could have sold it and got a good price. It may not have been the price that he wanted, but it's way better than just watching his business slowly tank over time. And I knew it was the best answer for him, and I didn't push hard enough. I didn't close him that this is what he needed to do. Now, you may be watching and saying, well, it's not your responsibility, it's his responsibility. You know, he should have known better. You can only do so much. And yes, at the end of the day, I can only do so much, and it's up to him to be able to make that decision. But I could have done better. Right? I could have done better. I did not do my best because I didn't know how to close. I didn't learn the skills. And as a result, you know, somebody close to me suffered. And so I decided that I needed to get better at it. I needed to learn more. I needed to improve myself so that with every entrepreneur that I meet, I'm a little bit better. I'm a little bit stronger. I can guide them just a little bit better. And if that, my improvement in helping close them means that they have a massive success because they decided to take that path instead of going down the wrong one because they were afraid or greedy or whatever other reason, that's amazing. And if you want to influence people, it's the same thing. If you want to help people, not just sell your product that benefits you and doesn't benefit them. I'm not talking about using it for nefarious purposes, right? You want to help people. You have to learn to close them. Through care, through heart, through effort, through energy. You have to learn how to close them. If I can't tell the difference between you and all of your competitors, then the only reason why I'm going to buy from you is because you have a cheaper price. You don't want to win on being the cheapest. You're amazing. You're a genius. You have Michael Jordan level talent. And it's time for the world to see it. You need to stop hiding. So I remember not too long ago, I was in New York and I was meeting with former mentor of mine. Wow, that's hard to say 3 times fast. Former mentor. Okay, got it. Yes. Meeting with a former mentor of mine, and he was asking what my competitive advantage was, and I said, believe. I said, believe, what is that? Like, believe, I want people to believe. I want to give people hope. I want people to have hope that it's possible and show them another way. It's like, hope? You can't be in the hope business. You're selling hope? What is that? You're never gonna win off of hope. You can't win off of believe. That's just silly. And you know, a younger version of me would have felt, man, I don't know, maybe he's right. Here's this guy who's had so much experience and done so many things. Who am I to judge? I don't know, I've never done this before. But the me who was listening to him was like, this guy just doesn't get it. I'm gonna crush off belief. I already am crushes off belief. People stop me and say, hey, you're the believe guy. Yeah, that's my mission, yo. That's what I'm doing every day. That's what I wake up trying to spread. It's the world's biggest problem and I'm tackling it. I'm gonna make my dent in the universe. Steve, right? I'm gonna go make my dent in the universe. That's my competitive advantage. And there may be people who don't understand it, and that's okay. You can't let their limited view of the world and super limited view of you prevent you from going off and doing your thing.
Are you enjoying, Evan? Evan,
Huh?
you enjoying lying down on the beach?
Yes.
Evan, you look very comfortable.
Yeah. Gotta do what I gotta do. Gotta do what I gotta do.
How are you doing, Evan?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I'm great. Nina wants to do this. How often?
A lot.
A lot? Like a lot means like once every 3 years?
No, once a week.
Wow, once a week. Well, I'm getting stuff done. Let's go.
I like the heat. The heat is nice.
Hey, listen, there's heat anywhere Nina goes.
Water's cold. The water's cold, Evan.
Colder than expected.
Yeah. Look who we bump into. Sebastian.
Y'all just hanging out. Nina got bored, so we left. Nina got bored, so we left.
because I couldn't nap.
We got bored. I was fine. Nina got bored, so we left.
I just want to go for a walk. I just want to go for a walk at the beach.
Nice.
Spend a little time with yourself and finish the sentence. I am what? I am blank. I am blank. What's the blank? You are what? If you're just by yourself, you have a little space to breathe from your environment, you are what? What are some of the words that come up? What are some of the positive words? And what are some of the negative words that show up? If you're being honest with yourself, there'll be hopefully some positive ones. So for me, it could be I'm someone who believes. I am a great husband. Sean, paying attention. I am, a great father. I am a great, not owner. What do you do with dogs? I don't know. A great.
They're still considered your kids.
They're my kids.
Yeah, dog kids, pet kids.
All right. I am. But then on the negative side, like I am afraid of disappointing people. I am scared of speaking on stages. I'm worried that I'm gonna ask bad interview questions. Like, what are the positive and negatives if you fill in the I am? Okay, just to get awareness of yourself. This starts to uncover some of the subconscious behavior that you're living on autopilot, right? The subconscious is the autopilot. It's what you're doing by default. The conscious is what we want to take control of to then turn into subconscious, to then make the automatic, the positive, the ambitious, the bold, the courageous, right? So start with I am. What that does is lead you to step 2, which allows you to identify your trigger words. So what are the trigger words that you use consistently as an excuse for you not to do the thing? So my 3 trigger words are scary, difficult, or hard. That when I say scary, difficult, hard, those used to be the reasons why I couldn't do something. Those used to be the reasons why I would let myself off the hook. Those used to be the things I would tell myself, oh, I can't do this because it's scary. I can't do this because it's difficult. I won't show up because it's hard. And I would let myself off the hook for those things. That I would say, oh, that's okay because it's scary, so I'm not going to do it. And that used to be my identity. The number one way to deal with negative people in your life is through empathy. It's empathy. It's not hating them back. It's not spreading negativity. It's not reminding yourself that you're better than them. It's empathy. And it's not even just feeling bad for them. It's actually connecting to them. Let me explain. I default to assuming that people are good. This is a wild idea. People are good. Humans are good. I've done the WHO exercise, the year one word exercise, helping people find the most important core value with so many people. And it's always something positive. I believe that 99.9999999% of people are good. There's a tiny percentage of people who enjoy killing people and maybe have a few screws loose up here. But for the most part, we're good. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has ambitions. Everybody wants to serve. Everybody wants to be in a better place than where they are right now. The problem is, a lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are in pain. A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are suffering. A lot of people have tried. They took their shot and it didn't work out. And because they're so in pain, now they don't want other people around them to have success either. Because if they took a shot and it didn't work out, they don't want to own it, that it's on them. But if you then go off and have success, you start achieving your goals, what does that say about them? Right? It's not that the world is rigged against them, it's that they actually suck. And they don't want to admit that, and they don't want to own up to that. And so they're living in pain. And so they take it out on other people. They take it out on you, they take it out on me, they take it out on the world. They take it out on people. Right? That's what people do when they're in a lot of pain. Think about you. Think about your experiences, your life. Think about when you've been in a lot of pain, when you've struggled. Really think about this. The last time that you were struggling in a lot of pain, did you then show up as your best self in all situations? Did you maybe lose your cool on somebody? Did you maybe insult somebody? Did you maybe say something that you're not proud of that you later would regret? Has that ever happened to you? It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're a toxic person. It's not that you're a hater. You were just in a lot of pain. And so the people who are throwing shade at you are in a lot of pain. They're struggling. And just recognizing that, just trying to put yourself in their shoes and look at their life. And if you know them, you can actually look at their life. And if you don't know them, you can assume things about their life. If somebody's coming and leaving a negative comment on your YouTube video, the fact that that is the highlight of their day speaks volumes about them. Right? If the best part of your day is going to somebody's YouTube channel, leaving some nasty comment, that gets you feeling good. You're in a lot of, just imagine the pain that person's in. Imagine what their life is like right now. And it's a bit of a mental exercise because at the beginning, the natural reaction is to be defensive. It's like, well, no, I'm not this. And how could you call me that? And we want the people around us to support us and cheer us on and tell us that we're doing the right thing. So the natural defense mechanism kicks in where we say, no, that's not right. But if you can take a breather, you can take a step back and you can just try to have empathy, try to put yourself in their shoes, try to see that they're in a lot of pain. What it does is removes the sting from the words. It removes the venom from the words. It doesn't get you to react as emotionally. It allows you to show up more as your best self. It's one of the most valuable things you can start to practice. This is one of the things that prevents people from creating content, from posting videos, from sharing their thoughts. You've got a big mission, a message. Your story can change people's lives. Your story can change people's lives. It will change people's lives. And we're afraid to do it because of how people that we don't know or people that we do know will judge us. We're afraid that we're going to get negative comments. And that's the reason why you're not putting your message out there. We have to learn, you have to learn to stop getting in your own way and to start sharing, to start releasing, to start living your life, the life that you want, not somebody else's version of it. Living in regret sucks. Imagine you are 95 years old, you're looking back on your life at this moment, on this day, realizing that you could have played bigger, you could have done more, you had more potential, you had an opportunity in front of you, you could have done something, and you didn't. You didn't because you were afraid. You came up with some reason that you actually believed that was really an excuse. You played small, you didn't accomplish your goals. Now you're 95 years old and it's over and you can't do it. You're not physically or mentally able to actually do it. The more you can actually feel that today matters, that you want to stop living your life by other people's opinions and stop living with the fear of regret. Stop having that thing hang over your head that you could have done something and you were too afraid to do it. The more you can actually feel that, it can push you to actually take an action, because otherwise you live the life that everybody lives, that most people live. Most people regret their life. Most people regret not the things that they did, but the things that they didn't do. Regret the ideas that you had that then you saw somebody else make a ton of money off of. You regret the conversation that you wanted to take, but you are too afraid to go introduce yourself. Like, we live in this zone of regret. Already you can feel it. Look back to things that happened last year, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago. Like, you wish that you showed up a certain way. You wish that you had more courage, more boldness, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it. And the point isn't to beat yourself up over that. The point is to use that as courage to go do something today towards accomplishing your goals. I used to use the fear of regret a lot when I was younger, especially, to get myself to take action. The biggest decision of all, the hardest decision of all, was to, when I was 19, not take the $100K a year dream job that I thought I wanted, to go become an entrepreneur, make $300 a month, own 30% of a company. That was the hardest thing ever. And the thing that gave me the courage to do it was the fear of regret. And Jeff Bezos has a great regret minimization framework, he calls it, where basically he tries to project out to being, that old man and living life with as few regrets as possible. So I asked myself, what will I regret more? Will I regret more saying no to my dream job and making six figures and traveling around the world? Or will I regret more saying no to this business and just not knowing? And I thought, you know what? I can always go get another job. It may not be the same job. It may not be the same company. It may not be the same opportunity. It may not be as much money. It may not be as much travel. It may not be this perfect job. But I could get another similar job. I felt like I could get another similar job. This business idea, this business opportunity, I didn't know that I would ever have this chance again. And so I said, you know what? Even if the most likely outcome is failure, I didn't think it was going to blow up. I didn't know that it was going to work out or not. Even if the most likely scenario is failure, I still have to do it because I don't want to live with regret. And I told myself I would rather know and fail than not know. Catching that pattern. It's like, oh, it happened again. I wanted to go and do this and I didn't do it. Again, I had this opportunity to talk to somebody and I played small. Again, I had this chance and I didn't do it. And you're going to catch it a day later, a couple days later, and reflect back on it and realize, okay, I should have done it. Next time I'm going to try to have more awareness. Step one is just the awareness game, because the problem is it's so autopilot. We play small by default, especially if we've been doing it for decades. You play small by default. So it's so ingrained, so natural, so autopilot that we have to slowly shift out of autopilot zone. Eventually what's going to happen is you're going to catch it in less than a day. You're going to catch it a couple hours later. Then you're going to catch it an hour later. Then you're going to catch it 10 minutes later. Then you're going to catch it 5 minutes later. And then step number 2 is you're going to get to this magical moment. You're going to get to this magical moment where it's about to happen. You've caught it. You've caught your small thinking. You've caught your scared thinking. You've caught your excuses thinking. In the actual moment that it's happening, this is a magical spot right now, because you're actually calling yourself out on your own BS right now. And what you need to do is get enough courage to actually take the action, to pivot courses, to, instead of doing what you historically normally would do on autopilot, now we're going to take the other action, the action where you're proud of yourself, the action that you don't want to live in regret. That version of you showing up. There's an order to things. There's a sequence to things. Part of the problem with a lot of entrepreneurs is they're just not doing the things in the right order. You're trying to tackle that big mission from the start, doing all 30 things at the same time, and not making any money, not making any momentum, not making any progress, and ultimately not having the impact that you want to have. So out of your 30 ideas, all inside your mission, amazing, which one is actually going to start getting you paid? Because when you can start making money, everything becomes better. Everything becomes easier. You can quit your job. You can pay your bills. You can hire a team. You can have a bigger impact, right? If you had a team of 10 people versus you doing things part-time on the weekends and evenings, you're just going to have a much bigger impact if you have you working full-time and a team around you. How do you get there? What's the one idea out of the 30?
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to watch the top 10 rules of Tom Bilyeu, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, well, as long as I don't do things that create a problem, I don't do bad things, I'll be fine. What could possibly be wrong with sitting around